Confessed my love for 3 years, and I married your best friend. Why are you crying? A drunken night linked Jiu Lang and the school beauty together. A ray of warm sunlight poured through the blinds and onto the pristine white sheets. Jiu Lang slowly opened his eyes. The glaring light indicated it was already late morning. Just as he was about to pull back the covers and get out of bed, he suddenly felt a slight weight on his chest. Looking down, he saw a flawless, snow-white arm resting there. This startled Jiu Lang. He froze. He had a habit of sleeping naked, after all. The feeling of his skin pressed against a woman's delicate skin was like touching the finest silk, cool, smooth, and for a moment, Jiu Lang's mind wandered. After a brief moment of confusion, Jiu Lang quickly snapped back to his senses. At that moment, his mind was a complete mess. He had no idea how the woman beside him came to be there. He raised his hand and pressed his temples, feeling a dull ache in his head. A flood of memories rushed back. Finally, he recalled what had happened. Drunken behavior wasn't anything new, but he never expected it to happen to him. Damn, this is really troublesome. Jiu Lang muttered to himself. After a few seconds, his mind cleared, and the whole story came to light. The previous night, he had been drinking to drown his sorrows. To his surprise, his girlfriend, whom he had been wholeheartedly devoted to, was actually just using him to climb the social ladder. Upon hearing that Jiu Lang's company was facing bankruptcy, she immediately turned to another rich man, an old one, at that. What she didn't know was that Jiu Lang's father had quickly resolved the company's financial crisis on another day. What was supposed to be a night of drowning his sorrows ended up in a one-night stand. His mood soured quickly, and after drinking too much, he lost all control. In the end, it was a kind-hearted, beautiful woman who helped him to a nearby hotel. However, everything after that was a blur. The woman lying next to him was probably the one who had helped him last night. But despite his habit of sleeping naked at home, there was no way he had the presence of mind to keep that up while he was completely drunk. After thinking for a moment, Jiu Lang had an idea of what had happened. Feeling guilty, he carefully got out of bed, trying not to wake the woman beside him. He then noticed the scattered clothes on the floor and groaned, rubbing his forehead in frustration. He searched for his clothes amid the mess. After quickly getting dressed, he realized his pants were missing. It dawned on him that the woman's delicate legs were pressing on them. Carefully, he grabbed her ankle and lifted her leg, pulling his pants out from underneath. But when he touched her ankle, the soft sensation sent his mind wandering once again. Jiu Lang cursed himself silently and quickly yanked his pants out. He muttered to himself under his breath. Don't look, don't look. Sin, it's a sin. At that moment, the woman in bed seemed to have been awakened by his movements. Her long, curled eyelashes fluttered, and her eyes slowly opened. Before Jiu Lang could admire her beautiful eyes, a piercing scream filled the room. The woman on the bed quickly curled up in the blanket, wrapping herself into a cocoon, only her head sticking out, her big eyes blinking as she took in her surroundings. Jiu Lang quickly put his pants on, trying to force a smile. He wanted to reassure her, but was awkwardly at a loss for words. Oh, beautiful lady, please calm down, calm down. With a deep sigh of relief, Jiu Lang sat down on a nearby chair. But as soon as he sat down, he was hit by a wave of aches and pains all over his body. Had he overexerted himself last night? Maybe too rough. Thinking of this, he felt a pang of guilt for the woman who had kindly helped him. She had done him a favor, and now she. Jiu Lang let out a deep sigh. He really was a beast. He needed to take responsibility for the woman in front of him. The woman in the blanket, moving with lightning speed, quickly gathered all her clothes into the covers. After putting on her undergarments, she finally let out a breath of relief. And then, her face was revealed to Jiu Lang. The moment her face appeared, Jiu Lang, who had already mentally prepared himself, was stunned. Her skin was as smooth and flawless as a freshly peeled soft egg, almost delicate enough to break with a touch. Her bright eyes, framed by fluttering lashes like butterfly wings, complemented her small, cute nose and rosy cherry-like lips. Her black hair, slightly messy from last night's passionate actions, cascaded around her shoulders, but it didn't look untidy. Instead, it gave off a lazy and seductive vibe. The woman, looking somewhat irritated, glared at the man in front of her, her soft voice laced with a hint of anger as she said, still staring. Turn around. Still caught in the beauty of her face, Jiu Lang immediately complied, not daring to hesitate for a second. Okay, I won't look anymore. When he obediently turned around, the woman finally let go of the blanket, revealing her perfect figure. She began to get dressed while sizing up the man. Ji Yulang sighed and began explaining, "Thank you for helping me last night. I got drunk, so. But don't worry, I'll take responsibility for it. A man should stand up and be responsible." Even though last night was a spur-of-the-moment decision, he knew he had to take responsibility for his actions. But just as the words left his mouth, the woman's melodious voice rang out, sounding slightly flustered. "Last night. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. We're adults, it's not a big deal. You don't have to take responsibility for me. There's no need for any acts of deep affection or playing the role of a responsible, good man." Ji Yulang froze. This wasn't what he had expected at all. Oh. He never imagined that this seemingly gentle and delicate woman would be so open-minded and speak so bluntly. But the more she said that, the more guilty Ji Yulang felt. However, after some reflection, he realized he had indeed acted impulsively. Wanting to spend the rest of his life with someone after just one night was a childish and naive thought. Even if he wanted to take responsibility for his impulse, the consequences could be unimaginable if he was not careful in choosing the right person. Thinking this, Ji Yulang's mind became clearer. The woman in front of him was thinking far ahead, much more than he was. Ji Yulang smiled and said, "I apologize for my behavior last night, but I really want to make it up to you. Is there anything I can do for you? As long as it's within my ability, I won't hesitate." He genuinely wanted to make things right with the woman, but he had no idea how to go about it. So, he left the choice in her hands. "Make it up to me? You think that will ease your guilt?" The woman replied. Her simple words, though light, made Ji Yulang feel uncomfortable. "You don't have to do anything for me. I don't need your so-called compensation. I'm leaving now. Let's pretend last night never happened." With that, the woman put on her shoes and walked toward the door. But at that moment, Ji Yulang felt like something was lodged in his throat. He hung his head, unsure of how to face the woman. However, his sense of responsibility as a man didn't allow him to retreat. He lifted his gaze, only to be met with a shocking sight: an eye-catching red stain on the bedsheet that made his heart race. Ji Yulang froze. Even a fool could understand what that meant. Damn it. Ji Yulang, you really are a scumbag. He thought back to the woman's frightened expression and felt a surge of sympathy. When the door clicked open, Ji Yulang suddenly sprang to his feet. He rushed forward in a single stride and pulled the woman into his arms. "I mean every word I say. I will take responsibility for you. I'm not joking, and I'm not playing any kind of game." Ji Yulang held her tightly in his arms, feeling her dampness against his arm. The woman was quietly sobbing in his embrace. Ji Yulang gently turned her around. Her bright eyes were filled with tears and hurt. "Let's get married." Ji Yulang looked down at the woman in his arms, his eyes full of love and sorrow. "Millimeter." The woman nestled into his embrace, softly agreeing. Chapter 2, My Wife Turns Out to be the Campus Goddess. Ji Yulang sat on the sofa, holding the woman in his arms. It was then that he learned her name, Ling Yufei. In the midst of his surprise, he also discovered that they were in the same university, both freshmen. But the name felt strangely familiar. And then he remembered the high-cold goddess his friends had been talking about every day was named Ling Yufei. She was also the campus beauty of their school. Although Ji Yulang was also considered handsome, he felt somewhat self-conscious in front of the famous school beauty. Because Ling Yufei's beauty was ethereal like a fairy who had never been touched by the dust of the world. Her presence was so pure that even if you saw her on the street, you would feel like you were not worthy to look at her. But last night, he had been the villain who dragged this fairy into the mortal world. However, now that he thought about it, Ji Yulang's eyes filled with determination. He would take responsibility for everything. Time passed quickly. The two of them became the envy of everyone at school, a model couple that everyone admired. For the next 4 years, their relationship was full of love and harmony, making everyone else jealous. What was even more enviable was that, as they neared graduation, they had already begun preparing for their wedding. On the other side of town, at a city's central hospital, Ling Yufei stared at the report in her hand, her face pale. The document was a B ultrasound scan. Her mind still echoed the doctor's congratulatory words. Congratulations! You're pregnant, and it's a rare case of triplets. Such good fortune. Ling Yufei thought back to that night, when she just wanted to let loose with the person she had secretly liked for so long. But one night had turned into 4 years. Though their relationship had been blissful, the news of her pregnancy caught her completely off guard. She was pregnant. With triplets. What had started as a passionate night now felt like a heavy blow as cold reality hit her. The doctor had warned her that she had already missed the optimal window for an abortion. If she forced an abortion now, the consequences could affect her for the rest of her life. She might even lose the ability to have children in the future. What should she do now? Should she keep the babies? Should she even tell him? Ling Yufei picked up her phone and dialed the number she had been calling every day for the past 4 years. The phone rang a few times before it was picked up. Hubby, do you have time right now? Ling Yufei's voice sounded weak. On the other end, Jiu Lang immediately noticed something was off with her tone. What's wrong? What happened? He asked anxiously. Where are you? I'm coming over, he added, sensing something was wrong. I'm at the First People's Hospital. Ling Yufei's voice trembled with a hint of tears. When Jiu Lang heard this, his mind immediately went blank. The First People's Hospital. Was she sick? If she weren't ill, there was no reason for her to call him. With confusion in his mind, Jiu Lang hurriedly grabbed a cab and rushed to the hospital. In the disinfected hallway, he found Ling Yufei sitting on a bench, curled up into a ball, staring blankly at the report in her hand. Sweetheart, what happened? Jiu Lang's voice was full of concern as he approached her. Seeing her in such a state made his heart ache. Ling Yufei didn't answer. Instead, she handed the report to him. Jiu Lang hesitated for a moment before taking the document from her hand. Then, his eyes widened in shock, and he stood up abruptly, stunned. This. Is this? You're pregnant. Jiu Lang could hardly get the words out. Ling Yufei, seeing his reaction, bit her pale lips and glared at him. As their eyes met, Jiu Lang slowly calmed down, carefully reading each word on the report. He didn't want to miss any details. The report clearly stated. Pregnant. 3 months. Triplets. It was no wonder Jiu Lang was so shocked. Not only was she pregnant, but it was also triplets. It felt almost like hitting the jackpot. The doctor had also specifically noted in the report that if she aborted now, it would severely harm her body. Ling Yufei kept staring at him, waiting for his reaction. She was pretending to be strong, but at the same time, she wanted to see what kind of attitude Jiu Lang would have toward these 3 children. If he was willing to take responsibility, then she would keep them. Chapter 3: Awakening the Super Dad System. At this moment, Jiu Lang was still stunned, unable to snap out of his shock. Ling Yufei, fighting back the tears that filled her eyes, spoke tremulously. Do you want these 3 kids? She asked this question, not knowing what kind of answer she was hoping for. They had just graduated from their senior year, and their financial situation was still unstable. They had planned to work hard together and build a future. Now, she was telling him that she was pregnant with triplets, something completely unexpected. Jiu Lang should have been happy. After all, they were about to have a child together, a product of their love. But instead of seeing happiness on his face, Ling Yufei saw growing concern. Although Jiu Lang's father owned a company, Jiu Lang had never used family money. He had always adhered to his principle of being independent and starting his own business. Ling Yufei was studying at an art school, where art supplies were expensive, and she was also busy preparing for her postgraduate entrance exams, so she couldn't help much financially. She sighed deeply. Jiu Lang had once said that they should settle down, buy a house, and get a car before thinking about having children. Now, life was far from easy, and raising 3 children would be a significant challenge. At this thought, Ling Yufei's expression grew dim. But she also understood Jiu Lang's situation, so she left the decision up to him. Even so, the mere thought of losing these 3 unborn babies brought tears to her eyes. Jiu Lang looked at the woman he loved, his heart filled with tenderness. He had promised her 10 years ago that he would give her a home, treat her well, and marry her. Jiu Lang sat beside Ling Yufei, gently holding her petite frame in his arms. He caressed her back to comfort her, then softly said, "Wife, let us have them. I'll take care of everything." As soon as he finished speaking, Ling Yufei tightly wrapped her arms around his waist and buried her head in his neck, quietly sobbing. "Honey, this will put a lot of pressure on you." At this moment, Ling Yufei felt wrapped in the warmth of happiness, but reason reminded her to worry about her husband. The cost of raising 3 babies was enormous. Just the milk powder and diapers alone would be a huge expense. Not to mention their future schooling. Hearing her concerns, Jiyu Lang's heart warmed, and a gentle smile appeared on his face, filled with determination. "Why? You don't believe in your husband?" he teased with a smile. He knew that the arrival of these 3 children would add pressure to his life. But he didn't want to hurt his wife's health or let her suffer because of his inability. At the moment he made his decision, Jiyu Lang felt a great sense of relief, and both their faces were filled with smiles of happiness. Just then, the sound of a machine powering on broke the moment, bringing the still smiling man back to reality. An electronic voice then sounded. "Ding! Congratulations, host, for making the right choice. The Super Dad system has been successfully activated." Jiyu Lang shook his head, momentarily thinking he had imagined it due to his overwhelming happiness. But just a moment later, their voice came again. "Since their host has awakened the Super Dad system, this system has prepared a gift for the 3 little angels about to arrive. Ding, their host has received a high-end apartment at Linjiang High Court. The gift will arrive in 1 hour." Jiyu Lang blinked in confusion, and then shock spread across his face. He had heard that electronic voice clearly this time. Not only that, but he also heard the system saying it was giving him a gift, an apartment at Linjiang High Court. As a longtime fan of novels, Jiyu Lang had read about systems before. But he never expected such things to exist in real life, and certainly not to happen to him. His breath quickened. In M City, Linjiang High Court was well known as the rich district. The property prices were always sky high, with an average price of 100,000 yuan per square meter. The apartments were all over 100 square meters in size. If what the system said was true, then he was about to receive a property worth nearly 10 million. Such an expensive gift just given away like that. If he hadn't read so many novels, he would never have believed it. To make sure he hadn't imagined it, Jiyu Lang quickly asked, "System, are you still there?" "Yes, host." "How may I assist you?" the system's voice quickly responded. "You're not just fooling me, are you?" he asked, unable to fully trust the situation. He had never believed in things that fell from the sky. Even when his father offered to help him financially, he had refused. "Rest assured, host. Everything I've said is true. The rewards for completing tasks are all delivered through legal means, so there is no need to worry," the system assured him. "Also, the sales contract for the property is already at the Linjiang High Court sales office. Please go there to collect it." Jiyu Lang was completely stunned. This system truly was a divine blessing. With this, what did he have to worry about anymore? In an instant, Jiyu Lang, who had previously been anxious about the future, was fully revived. Looking at the Super Dad system's generosity handing over a multi-million-dollar house just like that, he realized that their financial worries were practically a thing of the past. However, the sudden surprise didn't cause Jiyu Lang to lose his sense of reason. 1 house for their family of 5 was still far from enough. He couldn't just sell their house and live off that. Though 10 million yuan was more than enough for an ordinary person to live on for a lifetime, he wanted to give his wife and children a better life. During the pregnancy, they'd need to buy the best food, and there would be a series of follow-up checkups. His current monthly salary of 20,000 yuan wasn't enough to cover all of that. So, Jiyu Lang asked, "System, I want to know, what are the ways to earn more rewards?" The system quickly provided an answer. There is only one way to earn rewards: their host must complete tasks assigned by the system. These tasks are triggered by fresh new experiences their host encounters, and they are triggered as conditions are met. When the time is right, the system will issue the tasks. Additionally, a friendly reminder: their host can interact more with the babies. Random rewards will drop from those interactions. After the system's electronic voice faded, Jiyu Lang snapped out of his daze. This reward trigger mechanism was surprisingly simple. As long as he encountered new things every day, he'd never run out of tasks to do. This made Jiyu Lang even more excited for the future. With this system, like an external cheat code, Jiyu Lang was confident he could ensure his wife and their 3 little treasures would live worry-free, healthy, and happy lives. After returning from the hospital to their rental apartment, the couple began preparing dinner together. After a warm dinner, Ling Yufei gently leaned her head on Ji Yulang's shoulder. "Honey, about the kids." Before she could finish speaking, Ji Yulang interrupted her. He knew that she was worried about him. "Wife, you don't need to worry about this. But I don't want you to wear yourself out." Ling Yufei furrowed her brow, a hint of anxiety in her eyes. "Don't worry. Even if it's not triplets, but 6 babies, I'll be able to raise them," Ji Yulang said with a confident smile, looking at the woman in his arms. "Do you think I'm a sow?" Ling Yufei pretended to be angry. Okay, I misspoke. I'll slap myself," Ji Yulang said, playfully slapping his own face a few times. "Hey, you really are slapping yourself." Ling Yufei smiled, but then her expression turned serious. "But if these 3 babies are born, we'll need a lot of money." "Don't worry, leave it to your husband," Ji Yulang replied confidently. Hearing this, Ling Yufei's heart was filled with so much happiness that it almost overflowed. "Honey, don't put too much pressure on yourself. If it really becomes too much, I can ask my family for money," she said. She had never talked much about her family to Ji Yulang. In fact, she was an only child, and if she ever needed it, her parents would definitely help. However, Ji Yulang simply shook his head. "My babies, I'll find a way to raise them. Parents can only help for a while, but they can't help forever. Don't worry." Chapter 4, You're hiding this from me too. These words came straight from Ji Yulang's heart, not influenced by the system. Even without the system's help, Ji Yulang would still have worked tirelessly to raise their child, using all his effort to make money. If necessary, he would borrow some money from his father and repay it with interest in the future. Ling Yufei wanted to say more, but before she could speak, Ji Yulang silenced her with his words. "You and the kids are my treasures. Although we haven't officially married yet, I don't want my future in-laws looking down on me. Wife, your top priority now is to take care of the baby. Don't worry about anything else." Then, as if remembering something, he paused and added, "I forgot to tell you, I started investing in stocks a few years ago. I've saved up quite a bit of money, enough to support our 3 little treasures comfortably." Ji Yulang smiled and gently kissed the woman's forehead. In truth, Ji Yulang was lying. He claimed to have made money in the stock market, but in reality, he was trying to hide the existence of the system. He had to do this out of necessity, as he would soon come into a lot of unexpected wealth, and he needed to prepare Ling Yufei for it in advance, to avoid any complications later on. As expected, Ling Yufei was momentarily stunned upon hearing Ji Yulang's words, then let out a deep breath, looking relieved, as if she had just had a weight lifted off her shoulders. In today's society, almost everyone with a little money tried their hand at stocks. However, the risks were high, and only a few people made big profits. Now, judging by Ji Yulang's tone, it seemed like he had made quite a bit of money. "Lang Ji, I knew you were keeping something from me, even hiding it from me," Ling Yufei said playfully, giving Ji Yulang a mock glare. "I was just trying to surprise you," Ji Yulang replied with a grin. "Besides, I'm not as good as you, Fei Jie. You got pregnant with triplets right away." Ji Yulang raised an eyebrow, looking at the woman in his arms. "Har. So you're teasing me now?" Ling Yufei said, lifting her tiny fist and pretending to threaten him. The couple, who had been together for 4 years, still acted like a pair of lovesick teenagers, playfully teasing each other for a while. As they were lying on the sofa, Ji Yulang suddenly remembered that he hadn't gone to collect the luxurious apartment at the Linjiang Behating yet. He reached for his phone, checked the time, and realized it was still early. The sales office should still be open. "Wife, I just remembered something. Do you want to come with me?" Ji Yulang asked, maintaining a calm exterior but feeling nervous inside. Although the system assured him it wasn't lying, it was still better for him to confirm things personally. After all, with his wife being pregnant, he couldn't just leave her at the rental apartment. He glanced at their small 60-square-meter apartment, more resolute than ever in his thoughts. A comfortable living environment was crucial. At this point, Ling Yufei was a bit puzzled. It was getting late, so where exactly was Ji Yulang taking her? "Lang Ji, where are we going?" she asked. Ji Yulang winked at her, teasing her with a mystery. "You'll know when we get there." Ling Yufei's curiosity was piqued. She was eager to see what else Ji Yulang was hiding from her. Chapter 4, You're hiding this from me too. But seeing the smile in Ji Lang's eyes, Ling Yufei figured it must be something good. The two quickly tied it up and went out. Just as Ling Yufei was about to take out the small electric scooter she had bought during college, Ji Lang reached over and held her slender arm. "Wife, today we're taking a taxi." "Why are we taking a taxi today?" Ling Yufei asked, surprised. They usually tried to save money and rarely took taxis. "Wife, you're now a special protected person. You're not alone anymore, you've got our three little treasures in your belly. I have to be extra careful with you." Ji Lang gently placed his hand on her abdomen, his eyes full of tenderness. "It's only been a few months. I'm not that fragile. I still have some money left. We'll use it for the kids later." Seeing Ling Yufei's response, Ji Lang immediately became serious, his attitude firm. Ling Yufei, seeing his determination, was filled with happiness and nodded in agreement. Once in the car, Ji Lang even made sure to remind the driver to drive slowly. This small gesture made Ling Yufei understand clearly, she hadn't made the wrong choice in her man. Unconsciously, a warm smile spread across her face. Soon, the taxi took them to their destination. Ji Lang carefully helped Ling Yufei out of the car, treating her like she was something precious, as if she might break or melt in his hands. After stepping out of the car, Ling Yufei looked at the grand golden plaque before her. Linjiang Behating Sales Department. It was then that she snapped out of the bubble of happiness and realized where they were. Before graduation, they had often talked about buying a house. And this Linjiang Behating was a place she had heard about many times. It was where the rich gathered. A symbol of status. But why had Ji Lang brought her here? Even if they were planning to buy a house, the prices here were astronomical, totally out of their league. Could they be here to meet a friend? Before Ling Yufei could think further, Ji Lang had already taken her inside the sales department. The staff was busy at the desk, but when they saw someone enter, the saleswoman immediately approached them with a professional smile. "Welcome to the Linjiang Behating Sales Department. How can I assist you today?" Her sweet voice echoed through the room. But Ling Yufei was still confused. Why had Ji Lang brought her here? It couldn't be that they were actually looking at houses, could it? As far as she knew, the price per square meter here was 100,000 yuan, and a single apartment was worth several million. Even the maintenance fees were sky high. And they were just newly graduated university students. Ling Yufei lowered her head, not knowing how to respond. But as she felt Ji Lang's hand gently tighten around her waist, her anxious heart finally began to settle. Ji Lang smiled lightly. Though his face remained calm, inside, he was just as nervous. But now that they were here, he had to trust the system. Clearing his throat, he spoke seriously, "I've bought an apartment here, and I'm here to pick up the documents and take a look at the house." The saleswoman quickly responded, "Sir, may I have your name? I'll check the records right away." Ji Lang. The saleswoman walked briskly over to the computer, typing in her credentials and quickly retrieving the information. In less than 5 minutes, she returned with a purchase record and a folder, respectfully handing them to Ji Lang. "Mr. Ji, this is your purchase record. You can review it, and inside the folder is the contract along with the keys. Once you confirm everything, I'll take you to see the house." Ji Lang took the folder with steady hands and opened it. Inside was the purchase contract, and the buyer's name was clearly listed as Ji Lang. The property was located on the top floor of Building 1. The apartment was a whopping 200 square meters. Estimated market value, 20 million yuan. Ji Lang's hand trembled slightly as he looked at the document. After confirming it multiple times, he finally accepted that it was indeed his name on the contract. Only then did he feel the weight of it settle in. The system's generosity was unbelievable. Chapter 5, My dear wife, please calm down. Ling Yufei was so surprised that she couldn't speak. When did Ji Lang buy the house in Linjiang Behating? Where did he get the money? Why didn't she know anything about it? Full of doubts filled Ling Yufei's heart. After a while, she slowly came back to her senses and looked at the man beside her. "Husband, I'm not dreaming, are you buying a house here?" Ji Lang held Ling Yufei in his arms, patted her back, and said softly, "It's true, take this contract. Let's go and see our new house." As they said, the two of them left the sales office and headed for building number 1. There were small bridges and flowing water along the way, and the scenery was pleasant. Ji Lang admired and explained. In fact, I bought this house a long time ago, but the procedures were complicated and it has been delayed until now. Ling Yufei took a long time to get out of the huge surprise. I thought to myself, it seems that Ji Lang made a lot of money from stock speculation before, otherwise he would not have bought a house in Linjiang Behating. But when I think about it carefully, that guy actually hid such a big secret from me, and hid it for so long, I can't help but feel a little angry. Good guy, you actually did something big behind my back. Tell me the truth, how many things do I not know? Ling Yufei pretended to be angry and pulled Ji Lang's ear and said. Ji Lang sneered, knowing that Ling Yufei was just pretending, and did not hide. My dear wife, calm down, I just want to give you a surprise, Tilder. HMPH, I'll spare you this time. Ling Yufei muttered. But in her heart, she was very happy. After all, now that the two of them have their own house, I think their parents should agree to their marriage. Under the leadership of the sales lady, the two soon arrived in front of their new home. Linjiang Behating is indeed the most upscale residential area. There are only 2 families on each floor, and even the doors are equipped with the latest high-tech iris recognition technology. When you open the door, you will see the exquisite European-style home furnishings. The whole house has 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms, plus a study and a cloakroom. It is more than enough to accommodate a family of 5. And the house has obviously been ventilated for a long time, and there is no smell of formaldehyde at all. Instead, there is a long and refreshing fragrance. The two visited all the rooms and were excited. Husband, being with you is enough for the rest of my life. Ling Yufei hugged the man's waist tightly, buried her head in Ji Lang's shoulder, and her eyes were wet. Ji Lang also hugged Ling Yufei's slender waist with both hands. Wife, I love you. This will be our home in the future. Ling Yufei nodded. She was very glad that she did not choose the wrong person. Besides, what she liked was Ji Lang himself. Even if there was no house, even if the days ahead would be full of difficulties, she would still follow Ji Lang wholeheartedly. Then the two learned a little about the infrastructure construction of Linjiang Behating. She liked it more and more. It was getting dark. Ji Lang suggested, Wife, it's getting late today, and we have to go back to make trouble. Why don't we stay in the new house tonight? The houses in Linjiang Behating are all finely decorated, and even daily necessities are available, so you can move in at any time. The two spent a night here without any inconvenience. Later, the two finished washing and lay on the bed. Ji Lang couldn't wait to put his ear on Ling Yufei's flat belly. With a silly smile on his face. Ling Yufei didn't know whether to laugh or cry when she saw this. What are you doing, Tilder? At this time, Ji Lang still didn't look up, but just made a gesture to her to keep quiet, and then said softly. Let me hear if the babies are whispering. Ling Yufei heard it and laughed tremblingly. Are you silly? How old are the babies? That's hard to say. Ji Lang said with a smile. Oh Tilder, then tell me what the babies will say. Tilder. Ling Yufei stretched out her hand and rubbed Ji Lang's soft hair, saying in a warm voice. Let me hear it. Ji Lang said, listening attentively. I heard it. The babies said, Dad is so handsome. Ling Yufei's face was full of smiles, and her beautiful face was stained with a little maternal love. Oh Tilder, didn't they say Mom is beautiful? They say Mom is the most beautiful in the world. And then, the cold electronic prompt sound of the system sounded again in Ji Lang's mind. Congratulations to their host for communicating with his babies for the first time and achieving communication achievement level 1. Reward for 15 minutes of effective communication time every day. During the effective communication time, the host can get a reward of 10,000 yuan for every minute. Ji Lang blinked in confusion. Is the task completed? And according to the system, communicating with the babies effectively for 15 minutes every day means that he can earn 150,000 yuan every day. This task is too simple. Ji Lang was overjoyed. Could it be that his wife was pregnant with 3 little koi? So he lay on Ling Yufei's belly more seriously than before and started talking to himself. Ling Yufei was surprised to see Ji Lang so serious. I'm talking to you. You're so happy to be a father for the first time. The babies are only 3 months old. They can't even move, let alone talk. But Ji Lang was not hit at all. Instead, he said mysteriously, this is something that only I and the babies can communicate with. Look, they are praising me again. Ling Yufei smiled and rolled her eyes. You narcissist. At this moment, the two of them were immersed in ordinary happiness. For years, more than 1,000 days and nights. The two have been in love as always, and even after graduation, they have never thought of breaking up. Now, the long-term love has finally settled. Ji Yulang listened to the system prompt sound in his mind and smiled even more. Ding! Congratulations to their host for communicating effectively with the babies for 1 minute, and the reward is 10,000 yuan, which has been deposited into your industrial and commercial savings card. Ding! Congratulations to their host for communicating effectively with the babies for 1 minute, and the reward is 10,000 yuan, which has been deposited into your industrial and commercial savings card. It was unknown how long it took. Ling Yufei suddenly spoke. Husband, I want to discuss something with you. Ji Yulang raised his head and said to Ling Yufei, Honey, you tell me. Now that we have a place to stay, it's time to meet my parents. Chapter 6 Wife and children are the most important. No problem, after meeting your parents, we'll be married. Ji Yulang naturally had no objection. Even if Ling Yufei wasn't pregnant, he planned to take some time to meet Ling Yufei's parents. Now that Ling Yufei is pregnant with triplets, it's even more important to meet them. With the consent of Ling Yufei's parents, go get the marriage certificate. With the Super Daddy system, there is no need to worry about money. Now that I have a house, I can earn 150,000 yuan every day by communicating with 3 unborn babies. In the future, if I trigger some system rewards, it will not be a problem to make tens of millions. With the system in hand, I can give Ling Yufei a perfect wedding. The two began to discuss the issue of meeting both parents. When he was in his senior year, Ji Yulang brought Ling Yufei home to meet his parents. Ji Yulang's family lives in a small county town in the north, and Ling Yufei is from Jincheng. Ling Yufei is not only beautiful, but also very kind and sensible. His parents are very satisfied with Ji Yulang's future daughter-in-law. Originally, the old couple was worried that their son would not be able to find a wife. Now it's good, he has found such a good girlfriend in college. However, Ji Yulang has not met Ling Yufei's parents yet. Now Ling Yufei is pregnant with triplets, and he must meet them. When do you have time? Ling Yufei asked. It's Saturday off, so let's go on Saturday. Ji Yulang decided to meet Ling Yufei's parents on Saturday. Although there is a system, Ji Yulang does not plan to resign. The main reason is that the system requires conditions to be triggered, and there are more opportunities to trigger it when working. Ling Yufei originally planned to take the postgraduate entrance examination, and has been reviewing at home. Now it seems that Ling Yufei can't stay at home alone. A pregnant mother with triplets must have someone to take care of her. I will call my mom tomorrow and ask her to come and take care of me. Okay, I'm at home anyway, anytime is fine. Ling Yufei had no objection. Ding! Their host's communication time with the baby is over today, please continue tomorrow. At this time, the system prompt sound came from Ji Yulang's mind. 15 minutes, 150,000 arrived, it was so cool. 150,000 a day, 4.5 million a month. 10 months of pregnancy, 45 million. 45 million, all the money for milk powder is solved. The next morning. Wife, don't go out alone, it will be bad if you bump into something, I will come back to cook for you at noon. After breakfast, he cleaned up the dishes and chopsticks, and before going out, Ji Yulang repeatedly reminded Ling Yufei. Honey, I know. Ling Yufei's face was full of happiness, and she was a little amused. Just because she was pregnant, Ji Yulang was cautious, as if she would fall down if the wind blew. It seemed that Ji Yulang wanted to be with her 24 hours a day. Ji Yulang went out and got on the bus. The new house is closer to the company than the house he rented before. I haven't bought a car yet, so I take the bus. Ji Yulang thought about buying a car so that it would be convenient for traveling. Now there is 150,000 yuan in the card, so buying a car is not a problem. He took out his mobile phone and checked his account again. The 150,000 yuan was firmly in the account. To be honest, if it weren't for the system's reward, he would probably have to wait for several years before he could buy his first car, let alone a house. After thinking about it, Ji Yulang dialed his mother's phone number. Ji Yulang's parents run a small building materials business in the county, and their life is pretty good. Now that Ji Yulang has the Super Daddy system, he can make 150,000 yuan a day just by communicating with his 3 babies. It doesn't matter whether the parents do the small business at home. Now my wife is pregnant with triplets, and my wife and children are the oldest, so I asked my mother to come and take care of them. Of course, it depends on my mother's opinion. During rush hour, there are many people on the bus. Jiu Lang pulled the lever while making a phone call. Soon, the call was connected. Son, why are you calling me so early in the morning? Mother Chen Lan on the other end of the phone picked up the phone in confusion. My son usually calls me at night. He called me so early this morning. Could something have happened? Mom, it's like this, I have a problem here. Jiu Lang considered his words and thought about what to say. What's the problem? Son, don't scare me, are you okay? When she heard that her son had a problem, Chen Lan became anxious. Oh. It seems that my mother misunderstood what she said. Mom, I'm fine, listen to me, Yufei is pregnant. Jiu Lang explained quickly. Everyone on the bus looked at Jiu Lang, and most of them were envious. Jiu Lang is so young, but he has a wife, and his wife is pregnant, which is simply a role model for successful men. Yufei is pregnant. My future daughter-in-law is pregnant. Chen Lan on the other end of the phone was stunned for a moment before she came to her senses and almost jumped up in excitement. You know, she is very satisfied with Ling Yufei, her future daughter-in-law. Son, how can you say there is something wrong with such a good thing? You know, I almost scared me to death. Chen Lan blamed again and again. Mom, haven't I finished talking yet? Jiu Lang smiled bitterly. Son, Yufei is pregnant, you haven't gotten married yet, do Yufei's parents know about this? Chen Lan calmed down. She didn't have any objection to the unmarried pregnancy. This shows that her son is capable and she will have a grandson. The key is what Ling Yufei's parents think. For this kind of thing, the man's and the woman's parents have different ideas. She thinks that her son and Ling Yufei should hold a wedding as soon as possible, otherwise it would be a bit unreasonable. Some procedures still need to be followed. Yufei's parents don't know yet. I plan to go to her house with Yufei this weekend, meet her parents, and then tell them about this. Jiu Lang told the plan. Since Yufei is pregnant, you should get married quickly. I will discuss with your father here, and go to Jincheng in the next few days to propose marriage to Yufei's house and set the date for your wedding. Chen Lan thought of the key point in a very short time. We must propose marriage as soon as possible and let our son get married as soon as possible. Mom, don't rush to propose marriage. Let's talk about it after Yufei and I go to her house this week. I called you today because I want you to come to Jincheng to take care of Yufei. I have to go to work, she is alone at home, I am a little worried. You'd better come today, I will book a plane ticket for you, do you think it's okay? In Jiu Lang's view, the most important thing now is not whether to propose marriage or not, but to take care of Ling Yufei. He already has a system, and he believes that Ling Yufei's parents will definitely agree to their marriage. Son, is it so urgent? Chen Lan was a little confused. Isn't it just a new pregnancy? Is it so urgent? Do you need someone to take care of you? Back then, when I was pregnant with this brat, I was still busy outside for half a year. Mom, under normal circumstances, there is no need to be so anxious. The key is that Yufei's pregnancy is different from others. She is pregnant with triplets. I am not very reassured. I think it is better to have someone around to take care of her. Jiu Lang told the truth. Chapter 7 My son is so proud. Triplets. Chen Lan thought that her future daughter-in-law was just having a normal pregnancy. She unexpectedly got triplets. Happiness came so suddenly. Son, that's great. Okay, I'll do as you said. You buy me a plane ticket and I'll go there today. I'll arrange Ling Yufei's daily life myself. Chen Lan was so excited that she was shaking all over. If conditions didn't allow it, she would have played some square dance music and had a square dance. Triplets. No wonder my son is so anxious. His right to be anxious. I know, and I'm just as anxious. My son is at work, and my future daughter-in-law is alone at home. What if she gets hurt? I have to take care of her myself. As for the little business at home, it doesn't matter if we don't take care of it. Anyway, the 3 grandchildren are the most important. Then it's settled. Tell my dad about the situation, and I won't call him anymore. After the discussion, Jiu Lang hung up the phone. He was relieved that his mother came to take care of Ling Yufei. He put his phone back in his pocket and looked up to find that everyone on the bus was looking at him. Oh. What's going on? Young man, is your wife pregnant with triplets? An old man asked in surprise. You know, twins are very rare, let alone triplets. Anyway, there are not many triplets in the world. Other people's ideas are the same as the old man's. Yes, uncle. Ji Lang smiled and nodded. Young man, congratulations. The old man gave his blessings, full of envy. His useless grandson has graduated for several years and doesn't even have a girlfriend. Look at this young man, he is not very old, but he is so proud. Not only does he have a wife, but his wife is pregnant with triplets. If this happened to my grandson, I would be able to smile in my grave even if I died. Thank you. Ji Lang smiled and expressed his gratitude. Young man, triplets are very rare, you are really capable. A middle-aged woman was also very envious. Her son is already 30 years old and doesn't have a girlfriend. Look at this young man, he has triplets. I will take this opportunity to do a good job of ideological work on my son when I go back. Brother, congratulations. Brother, you are so awesome, I envy you. Young man, you look like you are only in your early 20s, right? You got married at such a young age, it's amazing. Triplets, you will need a lot of money for milk powder in the future, come on. People in the car spoke one after another. Some gave blessings, some envied, some praised, and some encouraged. Anyway, a man with triplets is not ordinary. Ji Lang naturally responded with a smile, feeling extremely happy. It feels so good to be a father soon. After dealing with it for a while, Ji Lang remembered that he hadn't booked a plane ticket for his mother yet, so he took out his mobile phone, booked a plane ticket for his mother, and then sent the message to his mother. On the other side, after Chen Lan's mother hung up the phone, she was still very excited. Now she wanted to fly to Jincheng to take care of her pregnant daughter-in-law. Ji Lang's father, Ji Lei, sat behind the table, holding a list, and just confirmed the customer's name and the quantity of building materials, and was about to deliver the goods to the customer. Husband, good news, there is great news. Ling Yufei came over and said excitedly. Good news? We are an old couple, what good news is there? In Ji Lei's opinion, the good news Chen Lan said may not be good news to him. What good news? I'll go to deliver the goods to the customer after I finish talking. Thinking disapprovingly in his heart, Ji Lei still patiently cooperated with the question. Just now my son called back and said Yufei is pregnant. Chen Lan said excitedly. What? Yufei is pregnant. Is it true? Ji Lei stood up and asked hurriedly. Like Chen Lan, Ji Lei was very satisfied with Ling Yufei, the future daughter-in-law. Before they got married, she treated them very well, even better than their own daughter. Even the neighbors, when they mentioned the future daughter-in-law, none of them said anything bad. He had always been worried that his son and Ling Yufei would break up after graduation. Unexpectedly, the future daughter-in-law is pregnant now. The relationship is basically stable. Such a good daughter-in-law can't run away. Besides, he will soon have a grandson. My son is really trying hard. Ji Lei is 48 years old this year, still in his prime. At this age, he is going to be a grandfather, which is really great. Maybe, he can see his grandson get married and his great-grandson be born. Ji Lei's excitement is no less than Chen Lan's. My son called me personally to tell me, how could it be false? Chen Lan rolled her eyes. Yes, it's true, I was just too excited. My son wouldn't lie about this kind of thing. Har har, that's great, I'm going to have a grandson. Ji Lei laughed, shaking with excitement. This is really good news. This is the best news I've heard in all these years, I must brag about it to my relatives and friends later. I'm not done talking yet. Chen Lan looked at Ji Lei's excitement and wondered if he would faint when she told him about the triplets. Hearing this, Ji Lang realized that his son and Ling Yufei hadn't gotten married yet. With Ling Yufei's pregnancy, marriage was imminent. Otherwise, I'm afraid people would gossip about them. The son had just graduated and must not have much money. After graduation, he would stay in Jincheng to work and would definitely buy a house in Jincheng. He knew the price of houses in Jincheng. For their son's wedding house, the couple had already saved money. Over the years, he has saved more than 1 million. But the housing prices in Jincheng are so expensive that he can only pay a down payment for his son. He thought his wife was going to tell him this. Yufei is pregnant with triplets. Chen Lan didn't say what he was thinking. What did you say? Jiu Lei's eyes widened, thinking he had heard it wrong. I said, Yufei is pregnant with triplets. Chen Lan was very satisfied with Jiu Lei's reaction. Oh my god! Jiu Lei howled excitedly. I thought that I was already very happy to have a grandson. Unexpectedly, 3 came at once. Har har har, great, I have grandchildren, not just 1, but 3. Our son is so proud of us, the Jiu family. Jiu Lei was so excited that he couldn't help laughing. Wait, I'll call the brat first. Jiu Lei took out his mobile phone and dialed Jiu Lang's number. He had to call to confirm before he could feel at ease. This happiness came too suddenly, and it was hard to stop. I was afraid it was fake, and it was just a false joy. Jiu Lang received a call from his father while he was still on the bus. Dad, what Mom said is true. Yufei is pregnant with triplets. I asked Mom to come over this afternoon. You can discuss it. You can arrange the family affairs and come to Jincheng in 2 days. Jiu Lang said to his father patiently. This weekend, he and Ling Yufei will meet Ling Yufei's parents. If everything goes well, the date of engagement and wedding will be set, and then things will be done as soon as possible. For such a big event, both parents must be present. Chapter 8 Super VIP. Okay, don't worry, let your mother go first, I will go after I arrange the family affairs. Confirming that it was true, Jiu Lei finally felt relieved. Hang up the phone. Wife, let's go home right away, you pack your things, I'll take you to the airport. Jiu Lei was more anxious than Chen Lan, and he didn't even deliver the goods. The world is big, but taking care of the daughter-in-law is the most important thing. Other things have to give way. On their way, Jiu Lei called the customer, explained a little, and said that the goods would be delivered later. Our son hasn't married Yufei yet. When we go to Jincheng, we have to go to Yufei's house to propose marriage as soon as possible, so that the 2 of them can get married. I'll go there after I arrange things. You go there to stabilize the situation first. Also, you must take good care of. Back home, Chen Lan packed her things, and Jiu Lei kept reminding her beside her. Soon, Chen Lan packed her things. In fact, you don't need to pack too many things, just clothes and daily necessities for daily wear. When you get to the place, you can buy whatever you need. Old Jiu, our son is going to get married, and he must buy a house. The more than 1 million we have saved is definitely not enough. You can borrow some from relatives and friends. No matter how expensive the house prices in Jincheng are, we have to help our son. We can't let Yufei's parents look down on us. The couple saved money just to buy a house for Jiu Lang to get married. I had thought that my son would get married in a few years, and by then he would be more comfortable and should have saved enough. I didn't expect that Ling Yufei would get pregnant right after graduation, which was several years ahead of schedule. The money saved was not enough, so I had to borrow some from relatives and friends. Of course, I couldn't borrow much. The house price in Jincheng was expensive, and it was impossible to buy a house in full. I could only pay the down payment. Even so, it would relieve Jiu Lang of some pressure. Don't worry, I'll risk my reputation in the next 2 days and I will definitely borrow money for my son to buy a house. Jiu Lei patted his chest and promised. It would be impossible for my son to get married without buying a house. In a big city, it is very troublesome not to have a house. Anyway, you have to buy a house sooner or later, so it's better to buy it before getting married, so as not to let my daughter-in-law suffer. My daughter-in-law is pregnant with triplets, so it would be easier to borrow money from relatives and friends. Jiu Lang is the director of the marketing department of Jingsai Jewelry. During his internship, he performed very well and was promoted by the company as a director. After arriving at the company, Jiu Lang arranged things and returned to his office to do his own things. He opened Wandu Search. What should I pay attention to during pregnancy? What are the differences between pregnant women with triplets and ordinary pregnant women? What should their husband pay attention to when his wife is pregnant? Jiu Lang kept searching. He had never considered getting married so soon before, let alone having children so soon, and had never paid attention to these issues. Now that he is about to become a father, he naturally needs to learn more about these knowledge so that he can better take care of his wife and the 3 babies who are about to be born. Jiu Lang read a lot of answers, and many of them mentioned a book called Pregnant Nursing Encyclopedia. There is a free book of this book on the internet. Jiu Lang downloaded it and read it attentively. Ding! Host reads Pregnant Nursing Encyclopedia for 5 minutes and is rewarded with the full knowledge. After reading for a while, the system sounded. Jiu Lang instantly mastered the pregnant care knowledge in the book. Jiu Lang widened his eyes. Unexpectedly, the reward was triggered, and he directly mastered the whole nursing knowledge. To be frank, with the knowledge he mastered, he could go to a maternal and child health care hospital to be a nursing doctor. The system is the system, it never deceives me. Jiu Lang laughed, closed the web page, leaned back in his chair, and began to think about other things. My mother will arrive in the afternoon, and it seems inconvenient without a car. Can the system send a car? Or is there any task that will send a car after completing it? In this way, I don't have to pay for it. Jiu Lang bluntly put his mind to the system. I made 150,000 last night, and I can buy a good car for transportation. Jiu Lang thinks that he should buy a better one. Anyway, he is also a person with the system, and it is not too much to drive a better car. Host, the system will not actively send rewards. There will be rewards only when the conditions are triggered, and the rewards are uncertain. The system answered mechanically. This time, Jiu Lang was helpless. Should I buy a normal commuter car worth about 100,000 yuan today, or buy a luxury car in a few days? Jiu Lang stroked his chin and thought. Just communicating with 3 unborn babies every day would cost 150,000 yuan, and 1.5 million yuan in 10 days, which is enough to buy a luxury car. Should I buy it today, or buy it in a few days? Jiu Lang was a little entangled. At this time, Zhang Mingqiu, the general manager of the marketing department, called. Manager Jiu, come to my office for a while. After saying this, Zhang Mingqiu hung up the phone. Jiu Lang naturally couldn't neglect his boss, so he got up and left and went to Zhang Mingqiu's office. Boss Zhang. Jiu Lei pushed open the door of Zhang Mingqiu's office and saw Zhang Mingqiu sitting behind her desk busy. Zhang Mingqiu has a good image and temperament. She is a strong woman in the workplace. It was Zhang Mingqiu who promoted Jiu Lang to the head of the marketing department. From this, it can be seen how much Zhang Mingqiu values Jiu Lang. Manager Jiu, our company is cooperating with Dongtai Car Dealership to hold an event. This is the car purchase voucher given by Dongtai Car Dealership. Each car purchase voucher can be used to buy 5,000 yuan. You can distribute the car purchase vouchers to everyone. If everyone buys a car, they can save 5,000 yuan by going to Dongtai Car Dealership. Zhang Mingqiu took out a thick stack of car purchase vouchers and put them on the desk. Okay, Mr. Zhang. Jiu Lang nodded and picked up the car purchase voucher. Jingsai Jewelry often crosses borders to cooperate with other companies. This time it cooperates with Dongtai Car Dealership. It is normal for Dongtai Car Dealership to give car purchase vouchers. A 5,000 yuan car purchase voucher can save 5,000 yuan on buying a car, which is pretty good. Manager Jiu, you haven't bought a car yet, right? If you want to buy one, you can go to Dongtai Car Dealership. Not only can you save 5,000 yuan with the car purchase voucher, but I have some connections there and can help you get the lowest price in the city. Zhang Mingqiu still has some understanding of Jiu Lang's situation. Jiu Lang just graduated and takes the bus to work every day. He hasn't bought a car yet. Mr. Zhang, thank you for your kindness. I will definitely ask you for help when I buy a car. Jiu Lang did not refuse. Although there is a system, it is better to spend less money if possible. Jiu Lang took the car purchase voucher and left, distributing it to employees. Finally, he kept one for himself. Ding! You get a car purchase voucher, and you will be rewarded with 10 million car purchase money. The car purchase money can only be used to buy a car. It has been deposited into your account. Jiu Lang took the car purchase voucher and was looking at it carefully. Suddenly, the car purchase voucher disappeared, and a black card replaced it. On the card, the words Super VIP of Dongtai Car Dealership were printed. Jiu Lang did not know what this Super VIP specifically represented, but he knew that there were 10 million car purchase money in this card, and the car purchase money could only be used to buy a car. Chapter 9 I don't want to be a waste. Good, with 10 million for a car, you can basically choose any car you want. Ji Lang smiled with satisfaction and put the card in his pocket. He planned to buy a car at noon and drive to pick up his mother in the afternoon. Time passed quickly, and after get off work at noon, Ji Lang took a taxi home. "Husband, you are back." Ling Yufei saw Ji Lang and immediately threw herself into his arms. After getting pregnant, Ling Yufei became more and more clingy. "Well, did you take good care of our 3 babies at home?" Ji Lang rubbed Ling Yufei's head and touched Ling Yufei's belly. "You are really crazy, can I still abuse them?" Ling Yufei rolled her eyes and felt very speechless. This guy was really crazy after knowing that she was pregnant. She didn't feel anything special when she was just pregnant. Ji Lang was always afraid that something would happen to him. "I'm just worried about our baby, aren't I?" Ji Lang's face was full of tenderness. He always felt that meeting Ling Yufei was the luckiest thing in his life, and he cherished his relationship with Ling Yufei very much. They had never had a quarrel in the past few years together. Now that they have a child, they will have more affection for each other in the future. "I listened to you and stayed at home. I didn't do anything except reading." Ling Yufei felt a little wronged. She really didn't want to be idle, otherwise she would feel like a waste. She wanted to cook and wait for Ji Lang to come back to eat. Now, Ji Lang doesn't even let her cook. "For our 3 babies, you must listen to me. Today I learned the knowledge of maternal care in the company. You must listen to me during your pregnancy." After learning their pregnant nursing encyclopedia, Ji Lang felt that he was very professional, even more professional than the nursing doctors of maternal and child health care. Puff. Ling Yufei laughed. "Ji Lang, you actually learned the knowledge of maternity care? What's in your mind?" Ling Yufei was really amused by Ji Lang. This guy, he was pregnant, and he even learned the knowledge of maternity care. I was really impressed. Of course, Ji Lang learned it for her, and she still felt very happy. For our 3 babies, I have to learn more, and I will learn how to take care of the baby in the future." Ji Lang felt full of energy. For his 3 babies, he didn't feel tired no matter what he learned. Of course, the key is to have a system. "When the baby is born, I want to be an all-around dad." Thinking of this, Ji Lang's eyes were full of yearning. "Just do what you say." Ling Yufei didn't bother to care. Ji Lang did whatever he wanted. "Wife, let's go out for lunch at noon, and buy a car after dinner," Ji Lang said. "Buy a car? How much money do you have?" Ling Yufei was surprised. "I have already bought a house, and I need to buy a car. It seems that Ji Lang has made more money in the stock market than I thought. It seems that I have found a treasure." When they were dating before, many people said that Ji Lang had nothing and was not worthy of them. Now Ji Lang has shown his strength, which is far better than his peers. There are still many. Anyway, you and our 3 babies can live a carefree life." Ji Lang was vague and did not say a specific number. "Now that we have a system, we will definitely become richer and richer in the future. We cannot say a specific number, otherwise it will be difficult to make it up." Ling Yufei is with Ji Lang, not because she cares whether Ji Lang is rich or not, as long as Ji Lang loves her. It doesn't matter whether Ji Lang is rich or not, her family has plenty of money. Ji Lang did not let her down and always loved her. When she found out that she was pregnant, she was ready to ask her family for money. She is the only daughter in the family, and her parents can't ignore it. Unexpectedly, Ji Lang actually made money by speculating in stocks. She just asked casually, and had no intention of getting to the bottom of it. The two went out and came to a restaurant at the entrance of the community to eat. "Yufei, my mother will come to Jincheng in the afternoon, I will pick her up then." Ji Lang told Ling Yufei that his mother was coming so that she could be mentally prepared. "Our auntie is coming." Ling Yufei was shocked. When she went to Ji Lang's house, Gu's mother treated her very well and treated her as her own daughter. But, what was Ji Lang's mother going to do? "You are about to be a mother, but you still call me auntie and mom." Ji Lang felt that Ling Yufei should change her words. After all, she was about to have a child. Calling her auntie seemed unfamiliar. Oh. Ling Yufei was used to calling her aunt, and she felt a little uncomfortable when she suddenly changed her words. Fortunately, she had been prepared since she knew she was pregnant, and the hurdle in her heart soon passed. "Hubby, I know, it's our mom. Mom is coming, and I have to go to pick her up. I miss her too." She was still very happy to know that Ji Yulang's mother was coming. Okay. Ji Yulang was very satisfied with Ling Yufei's attitude. Hubby, you often say that our parents' building materials store is very busy every day. What is our mom doing in Jincheng? Ling Yufei was a little confused. I have to go to work during the day, and I'm worried about you being alone at home, so I asked our mom to come and take care of you. My mom is at home with you, so I can go to work with peace of mind. Ji Yulang told the truth. You let our mother take care of me. Ling Yufei was stunned, her eyes widened. Ji Yulang, in this situation, there is no need for our mother to take care of me. She had just gotten pregnant, and Ji Yulang didn't let her do anything. That was fine, but he also let her mother take care of her. What do you think of yourself? A waste who can do everything? As a new age woman, she doesn't want to be a waste. Anyway, it's settled. Everything must be arranged by me. I have to think about our 3 babies and can't be careless at all. Ji Yulang rarely insisted that this must be done to ensure the safety of his wife and children. I really admire you. Ling Yufei was too tired to complain. After thinking about it, she laughed. Okay, it's good for our mother to come. With her company, I won't be bored. Hee, don't blame me for taking our mother's love away when the time comes. She was happy to think of getting along with her future mother-in-law. The future mother-in-law is a very interesting person, and it's fun to be with her. Maybe, I can even learn square dancing from my future mother-in-law. You are so good at snatching her away. Ji Yulang didn't care. What a joke, I am my mother's biological son, how can you snatch my mother's love from me away? Just wait. Ling Yufei was confident. Dongtai Car Dealership is a very famous car brand agent in China. The car dealership represents a full range of high, medium and low-end car brands. Whether it is a tens of thousands of yuan commuter car or a millions of luxury car, you can buy it here. Ji Yulang has 10 million yuan in car purchase money and is ready to buy a high-end car. Anyway, this money can only buy a car, and you can't buy anything else if you want. Husband, what car should we buy? After entering the car dealership and seeing so many brands, Ling Yufei didn't know what Ji Yulang's budget was. Chapter 10: Buying a car. Wife, buy whatever car you like, we are not short of money. Ji Yulang was full of pride. With 10 million yuan for a car, 99% of the cars here can be bought. Just buy whatever car your wife likes. I believe Ling Yufei will not choose those Rolls-Royces that cost tens of millions, or supercars that cost tens of millions. You are so rich, aren't you afraid that I will choose the most expensive car? I will max out your credit card. Ling Yufei rolled her eyes. This guy actually said that he would buy whatever car he liked, looking like a rich man. Don't worry, just choose. Ji Yulang still looked very generous. Okay, I think Audi A4 is good, is it okay? Ling Yufei didn't know how much money Ji Yulang made in the stock market. Looking at Ji Yulang, he should have made a lot. It's just that he has bought a house, and he bought it in full. As for buying a car, she thinks it's okay. Audi A4, more than 300,000, is fine. There are not many people who can drive Audi A4 right after graduation. Wife, don't save money for me, we are not short of money. My budget is 10 million, as long as the car is less than 10 million, you can choose whatever you want. Ji Yulang knew what Ling Yufei meant, and simply drew a solid line to avoid Ling Yufei's choice. Less than 10 million? Are you serious? Ling Yufei was shocked again. Ji Yulang could actually take out 10 million to buy a car, which is simply a rich man's behavior. This guy is really hidden, I didn't find it before. Of course it's true, have I ever lied to you? You have suffered all these years, now it's time to enjoy yourself. When the two were dating, Ji Yulang didn't spend much money on Ling Yufei, but Ling Yufei spent money on him. During college, Ji Yulang never bought clothes, they were all bought by Ling Yufei. She knew that Ling Yufei came from a good family. Ji Yulang was an ambitious man, and felt that as a man, he couldn't live off others. After graduation, he stopped spending Ling Yufei's money. No matter how hard or tired you are, you have to make money yourself. Hearing Ji Yulang's words, Ling Yufei smiled happily. She didn't want to spend money recklessly. Now that she saw Ji Yulang, she seemed unhappy if she didn't spend money. I have to say, this feeling is really good. Although you can choose any car below 10 million, Ling Yufei feels that there is no need to buy a too expensive car. Just when she was thinking about what car to choose, a voice came from behind. Ji Lang. Someone called Ji Lang's name, and it was a woman. Ji Lang turned around and found that it was his immediate boss Zhang Mingqiu. Mr. Zhang. Ji Lang greeted him quickly. Beside Zhang Mingqiu, there was a middle-aged woman in a professional suit. Looking at the work badge of the middle-aged woman, she was the manager of the car dealership. Ling Yufei blinked and looked at the woman with outstanding temperament in front of her. Hearing Ji Lang's address to this woman, she could basically guess that this was Ji Lang's immediate boss Zhang Mingqiu. Ji Lang told her that his boss's surname was Zhang, and he was a pretty woman. Are you here to buy a car? Ji Lang showed up today after the car voucher was issued. If nothing unexpected happened, he should be here to buy a car. While talking, Zhang Mingqiu noticed Ling Yufei holding Ji Lang's arm, and her eyes lit up. She knew that Ji Lang had a girlfriend, but she didn't expect that Ji Lang's girlfriend was so pretty. Yes, I'm thinking of buying a car to make it more convenient for commuting. Ji Lang said politely. Sister Liang, this is Ji Lang, the supervisor of our company. Ji Lang, this is Liang Caichin, the manager of the car dealership. Sister Liang, Ji Lang is young and promising, and he is the backbone of our company. I'm here to buy a car today. Can you give me more discounts? Zhang Mingqiu introduced the two people and then spoke well for Ji Lang. This morning, Zhang Mingqiu said that if Ji Lang came to buy a car, she could help him get the lowest discount. Ji Lang didn't ask her for help, and she thought Ji Lang might be embarrassed. Since they met, Zhang Mingqiu took the initiative to help. Anyway, Ji Lang was a talent she was optimistic about. If she took the initiative to help, Ji Lang would work harder in the future, and this favor would not be in vain. No problem. Xiao Jiyu, what car do you like? I'll give you the lowest discount. Liang Caichin had a good relationship with Zhang Mingqiu, and she agreed without thinking. Originally, with 10 million yuan for the car purchase, Ji Lang didn't want to ask Zhang Mingqiu for help. If you ask Zhang Mingqiu for help, you must owe Zhang Mingqiu a favor. It's better to owe less favors. But Zhang Mingqiu asked, so he naturally couldn't refuse Zhang Mingqiu's face. Thank you, Mr. Zhang and Manager Liang. Ji Lang thanked him and glanced at Ling Yufei. Let me introduce you first, this is my girlfriend Ling Yufei. Yufei, this is Mr. Zhang Mingqiu of our company that I told you about. Hello, Mr. Zhang. Ling Yufei greeted with a smile. Hello. Zhang Mingqiu responded with a smile. Mr. Zhang, today Yufei is the boss. I will buy whatever car she likes. Ji Lang said with a smile. You are really caring, no wonder you can find such a beautiful girlfriend. Zhang Mingqiu scolded with a smile. Ji Lang brought his girlfriend to buy a car and let his girlfriend decide. It can be seen that Ji Lang loves his girlfriend very much. If it were an ordinary man, he would buy a car according to his own preferences, and would not care about his girlfriend's opinion. Men who are good to their girlfriends are generally good in character. Ling Yufei felt sweet in her heart, and felt that the sun was particularly bright today. She turned around and came to a Porsche. Honey, what do you think of this one? The one Ling Yufei liked was the Porsche Panamera in purple crystal. More than 2 million, far below Ji Lang's budget. This car is a luxury car with a lot of space inside. Even if 3 babies are born in the future, it will be enough for a family of 5. It has to be said that Ling Yufei thinks far ahead. No problem, if you say buy this one, then buy this one. Ji Lang naturally had no objection. Porsche Panamera, whether it is performance or comfort, is very good. The key is that Ling Yufei likes it. You don't have to spend 10 million yuan to buy a car at once. If you need it in the future, it doesn't matter if you buy another one. Zhang Mingqiu was shocked to see Ji Lang and Ling Yufei buy Porsche Panamera. According to her understanding, Ji Lang didn't drive to work because he didn't have money to buy a car. Now he bought a car worth 2 million without blinking an eye. Xiao Jiyu, it seems that I underestimated you before. You are quite rich. Zhang Mingqiu adjusted Ji Lang's positioning. This kid should have a good family background. He looks poor, but he must be pretending. Otherwise, how could he afford a luxury car worth 2 million? Even if he won a few million in the lottery, he couldn't use it to buy a car worth 2 million. Ji Lang smiled and didn't explain. This system thing can't be known to others. And even if he told them, they wouldn't believe him. Xiao Jiyu, do you really want to buy this Porsche Panamera? Liang Saiqin didn't expect that this inconspicuous young man would buy a luxury car worth more than 2 million yuan. Of course, as the manager of a car dealership, he naturally likes such customers. Chapter 11. I forgot my wife when I had a baby. Of course, since my girlfriend wants to buy it, I must buy it. I want the top of the line version. Gu Lang smiled slightly. Okay, the top of the line Porsche Panamera costs 2.4 million. I'll give you the lowest price of 2 million. I'll also handle the registration and other formalities for you. How do you think? Liang Saiqin really gave the lowest discount price. At this price, the car dealership basically makes no profit. You know, these luxury cars rarely have discounts. Thank you, Manager Liang. Gu Lang has 10 million yuan to buy a car, but if he can spend less, who would be willing to spend more? What, Manager Liang? Just call me Sister Liang like Menqiu did. Seeing that Gu Lang spent 2 million to buy a car in one go, Liang Saiqin wanted to build a good relationship with Gu Lang. From now on, whether Gu Lang buys a car or introduces someone to buy a car, he will make money. Sister Liang, thank you. Gu Lang didn't act pretentiously and immediately changed his words. Just for the 400,000 yuan discount that Liang Saiqin offered, if any of my friends buy a car in the future, I will introduce them to Liang Saiqin. When paying, Gu Lang took out the Super VIP card. Xiao Jiu, are you the Super VIP of our car dealership? You, why didn't you say so earlier? If you take out this card, Meng Qiu doesn't even need to say anything. I will give you the lowest discount. Liang Saiqin was stunned when she saw the card Gu Lang handed over. This Super VIP card is not simple. The requirement for applying for this card is that you must top up 10 million yuan, and no refunds are accepted. Those who can apply for this card are all billionaires. Of course, the benefits and services enjoyed by this card are unmatched by other customers. For example, you can enjoy the lowest discount price when buying a car, and receive free monthly maintenance, car wash and other services. Sister Liang, this is the first time I use this card, so I don't know the details. Gu Lang scratched his head awkwardly. Unexpectedly, this card can also be used to buy a car at the lowest price. It doesn't matter. The Super VIPs in our car dealership are usually friends of our boss. I'm lucky that you call me Sister Liang. Liang Saiqin immediately asked someone to handle the formalities for Gu Lang, while she drank tea and chatted with Gu Lang. Zhang Mingqiu, who was standing by, was shocked again. Since the company cooperated with Dongtai Car Dealership and she had a good relationship with Liang Saiqin, she naturally knew what the Super VIP status of Dongtai Car Dealership meant. There is at least 10 million in it, which is specifically used to buy cars. It seems that this kid Gu Lang really comes from an extraordinary family. She is the general manager of the marketing department of Jingsai Jewelry, with an annual salary of 1 million, but she cannot take out 10 million. Gu Lang only used the 10 million to buy a car. Zhang Menqiu raised Gu Lang's positioning by several levels. Complete the formalities. Xiao Jiu, I feel like I'm taking advantage of you by calling you that. Gu Lang is a Super VIP customer with a special status. Liang Saiqin felt that calling her Xiao Chen was a little impolite. Sister Liang, it's nothing, it's just a name. If you're polite to me, I won't buy a car from you in the future. It's just a name, Gu Lang really doesn't care. And he is not a person of status, he just has a system. Even if you have a system, you cannot be proud. When getting along with others, just be yourself. Okay, I'll listen to you. Liang Saiqin was afraid that Gu Lang would mind, but since Gu Lang didn't mind, she was naturally happy. Gu Lang is rich and friendly, which makes him very different from other rich second generations. You have 10 million on this card. Do you want to buy a supercar so you can take your girlfriend for a ride? Young people all like sports cars, Liang Saiqin recommended it seemingly casually. No, I'll find you if I want to buy it later. Sports cars look good but are not practical. If Ling Yufei wasn't pregnant yet, Gu Lang would really like to buy a sports car. Anyway, I have 10 million in my card, and an ordinary sports car would only cost 3 or 4 million, so I can still buy it. However, Ling Yufei is pregnant now, so she naturally cannot ride in a supercar. Okay. Liang Saiqin smiled and nodded, and exchanged phone numbers with Gu Lang. From today on, she has a new important client, Gu Lang, who needs to be maintained. Jiu Lang drove away with his girlfriend. Minqiu, Xiaogu's family is very rich, right? Liang Xiqin asked Zhang Minqiu about Jiu Lang's situation. Jiu Lang bought a car worth 2 million without blinking an eye. He also had the super VIP card of Dongtai car dealership. People who hold super VIP cards have extraordinary identities. As far as she knows, every customer who holds the car dealership's super VIP card has a net worth of at least 10 billion. Jiu Lang is Zhang Minqiu's subordinate, and Zhang Minqiu should know a lot about the situation. He is very capable at work, and his food and clothing are pretty ordinary. If I hadn't met him today, I really wouldn't have known that his family was so rich. Zhang Minqiu smiled bitterly. It was true that Jiu Lang was her subordinate, but she really couldn't tell that Jiu Lang was so rich. He is rich, low-key, friendly, and good to his girlfriend. You won't find such a man even if you search with a lantern. I guess he's one of those rich second-generation people who's looking to experience life. You should build a good relationship with him. It will be good for you. Who knows, maybe he'll come home and inherit the family business someday. Liang Xiqin sighed, expressed her own guess, and couldn't help but give Zhang Minqiu a warning. After graduating from high school, Jiu Lang took the driving test. His parents are in the building materials business and the family has a car. When he was in college, he often drove to help his father deliver goods, whether he went home during summer or winter vacation. Whether it is the family car or the truck, he drives very well and his driving skills are naturally beyond doubt. But he had never driven such a $1 million luxury car. I have to say, driving a $1 million luxury car like this feels different. Hubby, you're awesome. I never thought that we would have our own house and car so soon. Ling Yufei was very excited because both their house and the car were bought by Jiu Lang with his own money. I didn't ask my family for money or borrow money from others, I just paid the full amount. Among his classmates, Jiu Lang was the only one who earned his own money to buy a car and a house. Jiu Lang's excellence makes her very proud. That's right, don't you see whose husband I am? Jiu Lang was driving and couldn't help but show off. We returned home chatting and laughing. Since he had to pick up his mother in the afternoon, Jiu Lang thought about it and simply asked for leave and not go to work. His mother was about to come, and he was a little worried about Ling Yufei being home alone. I called Zhang Minqiu to ask for leave and he approved it without hesitation. Not to mention that we now know that Jiu Lang is a rich man. Even if we didn't know, with Jiu Lang's excellence, taking half a day off would naturally not be a problem. Hubby, you are so awesome. I decided to give you a little reward. Ling Yufei blinked. What reward? Jiu Lang asked curiously. Ling Yufei came over suddenly and slapped him on the face. Be careful, or you'll scare our 3 babies. Jiu Lang was startled, fearing that Ling Yufei's movements would be too big and affect the baby in her belly. Humph. Now that you have a baby, you forget about your wife. Don't touch me anymore. Ling Yufei didn't expect that she would be criticized for kissing him proactively. She was a little jealous. Her importance had decreased since these 3 babies were not born yet. Chapter 12 Mom arrives. Jiu Lang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What is said in the Encyclopedia of Pregnancy Care is really true. A pregnant woman's mood can change at any time, and her temper can easily become irritable. Wife, I'm just worried about the baby. We need to be more careful. He put his arm around Ling Yufei's waist and started to coax her. HMPH. I'm not going to pay attention to you. Ling Yufei looked angry on the surface, but she was laughing in her heart. She deliberately got angry just to get Jiu Lang to coax her. She used this method to deal with Jiu Lang every time, and made Jiu Lang obedient. Wife, don't be angry, I was wrong. Come, let me ask our little angels if they like the car their mother chose. Jiu Lang remembered that he had not communicated with the baby today, and he still had 150,000 yuan to earn. While coaxing Ling Yufei, he also communicated with the baby. Ling Yufei couldn't help but giggle. Jiu Lang knew that Ling Yufei was just pretending to be angry, but he never exposed her and instead enjoyed doing it. 15 minutes later, 150,000 arrived. Since Mom wasn't due to arrive until 5 in the afternoon, the 2 of them took a nap in the afternoon. I got up at around 3 o'clock and rushed to the airport. Plane to Jincheng. Chen Lan felt that the plane was really too slow. She wished she could fly to Jincheng immediately to take care of her future daughter-in-law. Her future daughter-in-law is pregnant with triplets, and she gets extremely excited whenever she thinks of this. Sister, are you going to Jincheng? An older lady nearby greeted Chen Lan. Yes, to visit my son and daughter-in-law. Chen Lan was feeling very uncomfortable and was just looking for someone to chat with. Someone started talking and she started talking immediately. You look young, so your son should be quite young, right? Are you married already? The eldest sister was surprised, because Chen Lan looked even younger than her, and her son was already married. My own son is 30 years old this year and still has no girlfriend. When comparing people, why is there such a big gap? My son is 22 years old, just graduated from college, and plans to get married this year. Chen Lan told the truth and suddenly realized that her son was really outstanding. Many of my son's peers don't have girlfriends yet, but his girlfriend is pregnant with triplets. It's simply too good. The eldest sister was even more surprised. Get married right after graduating from college. Sister, your son is getting married right after graduating from college. Isn't that too early? I got married right after graduating from college. Even from the perspective of their generation, it's a bit early. It's a little early. My son's situation is different from others. His girlfriend is pregnant, so they want to get married soon. Chen Lan didn't expect her future daughter-in-law to be pregnant. The eldest sister opened her eyes wide, shocked. Young people nowadays are full of passion and don't pay attention to taking precautions. Your son is really capable. I envy you. My son is 30 years old and still has no girlfriend. I asked him to go on blind dates, but he didn't want to go. I'm so worried that my hair has turned white. As the eldest sister spoke, she actually felt a little envious of Chen Lan. Getting married too early is not good, but getting married too late is not good either. The key point is that her son is 30 years old and doesn't he even have a girlfriend? Come to think of it, it's better to get married early. My son and his girlfriend have been in love since college and have been dating for 4 years. They have a solid emotional foundation, so getting married is a natural thing for them, said Chen Lan with a smile. Now, the eldest sister was even more envious. She thought of her son who was 30 years old and still had no girlfriend, and she felt very angry. It seems that I must ask the son to resolve this matter within a certain period of time when I return, otherwise the mother-son relationship will be severed. Your son and daughter-in-law are getting married, and their baby is about to be born. It's a double blessing. Congratulations. The eldest sister sends her blessings. Thank you. My daughter-in-law is pregnant with triplets. This time I went to Jincheng specifically to take care of her. When talking about her daughter-in-law's pregnancy, Chen Lan became excited and couldn't help sharing the good news with others. What? Triplets? The elder sister widened her eyes. Many people looked at Chen Lan, and their eyes changed. The triplets, no matter what occasion they are mentioned in, have an unparalleled impact. Your daughter-in-law is pregnant with triplets. The eldest sister asked to confirm. Yes, triplets. I have to go take care of them specially, otherwise I will be worried. Chen Lan felt a glow on her face. The eldest sister was so envious that tears came out of her eyes. Other people's sons are so outstanding, my own son is nothing. It doesn't matter whether you have triplets or not, the key is to find a girlfriend first. At the airport, Jiu Lang and Ling Yufei held hands. We're going to see our mother soon. Let's see who we love more. Ling Yufei's face was filled with joy. She had long regarded Chen Lan as her own mother. She was very happy to think about being taken care of by Chen Lan in the future, and she liked being with Chen Lan. I'm her son, so my mother will definitely love me more. Jiu Lang smiled confidently. Just kidding, mom must love her son more. Humph. I'll let you see the charm of my daughter-in-law later. Ling Yufei was also very confident and snorted proudly. People came out from the exit one after another. Soon, Jiu Lang and Ling Yufei saw Chen Lan coming out, and Chen Lan was talking and laughing with a woman. Chen Lan got along very well with the elder sister and left her contact information as soon as she got off the plane. When your triplets are born, be sure to notify me. I haven't seen the triplets yet, said the eldest sister. No problem, I'll contact you then. Chen Lan agreed immediately. Soon, she noticed her son Jiu Lang and future daughter-in-law Ling Yufei waiting for her outside. She said goodbye to her elder sister, her eye swept over Jiu Lang, and then fell on Ling Yufei. Mom. Ling Yufei let go of Ji Yulang's hand and immediately ran towards Chen Lan. When Chen Lan saw her beautiful and virtuous daughter-in-law running towards her, she immediately opened her arms and prepared to give her a warm hug. Suddenly, she trembled all over. Ling Yufei calls herself Mom. My God, he started calling me Mom before he even officially married me. I remember that before, Ling Yufei always called her auntie. The word Mom made her even more excited. My precious daughter. Chen Lan was so happy that she couldn't close her mouth. Ji Yulang raised his right hand to say hello to his mother. Seeing this, the raised hand froze in mid-air. Chen Lan kept calling Ling Yufei her dear daughter and ignored Ji Yulang. Yufei, are they really triplets? Chen Lan held Ling Yufei's hand, looked at Ling Yufei's belly, and couldn't help but ask for confirmation. She would not feel at ease until she got Ling Yufei's affirmative answer. Mom, it's true. Ling Yufei took Chen Lan's arm and nodded. That's great. I'm going to have 3 precious grandchildren. For was so excited that he almost jumped up. Mom, now that you're here you won't leave, right? As a person with 2 biological mothers, Ling Yufei feels so happy. I'm not leaving. I want to wait for my 3 grandchildren to be born and watch them grow up, har har. Chen Lan laughed heartily. Next, Chen Lan and Ling Yufei talked and laughed as they walked out, completely ignoring Ji Yulang, as if Ji Yulang didn't exist. Ji Yulang sighed and followed closely. I used to be a treasure in my mother's eyes, but now I have been forgotten. Chapter 13, My son is so good at stock trading. Mom. Ji Yulang couldn't help but shout out, trying to get his mother's attention. Chen Lan seemed not to hear and continued to hold Ling Yufei's hand, asking questions. She looked carefully at Ling Yufei's face, and then became furious. You bastard, didn't you take good care of Fei Fei? Why is she so thin? He turned to look at Ji Yulang and roared. Ji Yulang was dumbfounded. Is this still my biological mother? It's fine if you ignore me, but the key point is how can you tell that Ling Yufei has lost weight? Ji Yulang remembered clearly that Ling Yufei had gained a little weight recently. Mom, Fei Fei hasn't lost weight. Ji Yulang argued. You didn't take good care of Yufei, and you're still trying to make excuses. Chen Lan glared. Ling Yufei secretly glanced at Ji Yulang with a smug expression. Humph. Now you know who our mother loves more, right? Mom, I was wrong. Women are unreasonable, including mothers. Ji Yulang had no way of refuting his mother, so he could only sigh and admit his mistake. In the past, my mother rarely talked about him. Now, you get scolded even if you don't make any mistakes. That's better. Be nice to Fei Fei next time, or I'll show you how I'll deal with you. Chen Lan threatened. That's right. If you don't treat me well, I'll show you how I'll deal with you. Ling Yufei agreed proudly. Got it. Ji Yulang hung his head. Left the airport and got in the car. Chen Lan was curious why her son drove a new car to pick her up. She knew very well that her son did not buy a car. Originally, after their son graduated, they planned to buy him a car so that he could commute to get off work conveniently. Anyway, a car for transportation can be purchased for tens of thousands of dollars. The son was very stubborn and said he would earn his own money to buy it. She is a businesswoman and has some experience. When I saw that my son was driving a Porsche Panamera, I knew that the car would cost about 2 million. Those who buy this kind of car are at least truly rich people. Even if their family took out all their savings and bought the building materials in the store, they would not be able to buy this car. Son, did you borrow this car? Chen Lan asked. Ji Yulang has not told his parents that he bought a house and a car. Mom, I bought this car. Ji Yulang had already found a good excuse. Bought it? How is that possible? Even if you buy it in installments, the down payment would have to be several hundred thousand, right? Chen Lan really didn't believe that the car was bought by her son. They didn't give Ji Yulang any money, as he had just graduated from university. Not counting the internship period, I only worked for 3 months. She knew Ji Yulang's salary, which was only about 10,000 yuan. How can I buy a Porsche worth millions? She guessed that Ji Yulang must have rented a car, or asked a colleague to drive him to pick her up. Buying a car is absolutely impossible. Mom, this car was really bought by Ji Yulang. We went to buy it together at noon. Ling Yufei helped to explain. Where did he get the money to buy a car? And it's a luxury car worth millions. Chen Lan still couldn't believe it. She knew very well how much money her son had. Could it be that I won the lottery? Even if you win millions in lottery, you shouldn't buy a luxury car like this. Mom, this is the money Jiu Lang made from buying stocks. Ling Yufei explained again. Buy stocks? Chen Lan knew about stocks, but she had heard that stocks were risky and that very few people could make money by buying stocks. Of course, those who can make money will make a lot of money. Son, did you really make money buying stocks? Chen Lan asked. If my son was really that outstanding, he would have made so much money by buying stocks. Can I follow my son in stock trading in the future? Chen Lan's mind became more active. All the money earned at home is deposited in the bank. The bank's interest rate is pitifully low. Of course it's true. I started trading stocks in college and made a lot of other investments. Jiu Lang nodded, his words still a little vague. Otherwise, it would be difficult to explain to my mother when I get home and see the house. Chen Lan's eyes widened. When Jiu Lang was in college, they didn't give him much living expenses, only 1,500 yuan a month. I heard that his son uses his spare time to earn money by working part-time. They thought that their son could only earn some pocket money at most. Unexpectedly, I earned $1 million luxury car. This is equivalent to the money they have earned through hard work for most of their lives. Son, you are amazing. You can bring me along to invest in stocks later. I also want to make some money from the stock market. Chen Lan exclaimed in praise and decided to follow her son in making money by investing in stocks. Jiu Lang was dumbfounded. He knew about stocks, but he hadn't studied them carefully. His money was not used to buy stocks at all. What if I take my mom to invest in stocks and she loses money? It seems that this pretense is a bit too much. Okay, I'll take you to stock trading then. I have to make one thing clear up front: the stock market is risky and you may not necessarily make money. Jiu Lang couldn't expose the system, so he could only nod and agree, and also gave his mother a heads up. Chen Lan was very happy when she saw her son agreed. She thought that her son had bought a car but not a house, so she had to quickly make money to buy a house for her son. Just follow your son to buy stocks and earn money to buy a house for him. I know the stock market is risky, but I believe in you. Chen Lan has great confidence in her son. Hearing this, Jiu Lang felt bitter. This lie can't be undone. Well, we can only take it one step at a time. We can only wait and see if the daddy system can teach us some stock trading skills. Chen Lan was in a good mood. Her daughter-in-law was pregnant with triplets, and her son bought a car by making money from stock trading. Her life became more and more promising. Come to the behating near the river. Fei Fei, you guys are renting in this community, the environment is pretty good. Chen Lan looked at the high-end residential complex in front of her and knew that the rent would definitely not be cheap. Originally, he thought his son rented a house in an ordinary community. After all, I just graduated and don't have much money. Now I feel relieved when I think about it. My son made money from stock trading and bought a luxury car worth millions, so it is normal for him to rent a house like this. Mom, it's not rented, it's bought by Jiu Lang. Ling Yufei held Chen Lan's arm like she was her own daughter. Bought it? My son bought a house in this community. Chen Lan was stunned again. The houses in this community are definitely not cheap. One house costs at least several million. Jiu Lang made money by trading stocks, and not only did he buy a car, he even bought a house. Is your son so good at stock trading? Did he make so much money? Son, you bought the house and the car without telling us. Chen Lan still found it a little unbelievable. After their son went to college, they had less contact with him. The old couple has always been thinking about how to save money for their son to buy a house. Now that their son has bought a house and a car, they don't have to pay for it anymore. She was happy that her son was able to make money, but also a little disappointed. My son has grown up and doesn't need them anymore. This is a very contradictory feeling in the mind of a parent. Mom, I bought the house and the car these days, and I haven't had time to tell you yet. Jiu Lang knew that it would be best to tell his parents about this kind of thing in advance, but he had just gotten this thing not long ago and had no time to tell them. Chapter 14, Life Feels Complete. Arriving at the house, Chen Lan took a careful look and found out that it was a 200 square meter house with 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms, spacious and bright. That's great, that's great. As Chen Lan spoke, she began to cry, wiping her tears and sighing continuously. Before coming here, she and her husband were planning to lend money to their son to buy a house, but now they don't need to do that because their son has already bought the house himself. Mom, what's wrong with you? Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei were startled and quickly spoke to comfort her. Mom is happy. You have a car and a house, and you're going to have 3 babies soon. So many good things are happening together, and Mom is happy. Chen Lan was indeed crying with joy. Dinner was made by Chen Lan, who is a good cook. A family of 3 sat at the dining table and ate happily. Yufei, you should eat more. You must get enough nutrition. You are now 1 person, eating the meal for 4 people. Chen Lan kept picking up food for Ling Yufei, fearing that Ling Yufei would be hungry and not get enough nutrition. Ling Yufei's face was full of happiness, and she raised her eyebrows and glanced at Ji Yulang. Mom, don't just pick up food for Yufei, pick some for me too. Ji Yulang stretched the bowl in front of his mother with dissatisfaction. You can't pick it up yourself. Chen Lan rolled her eyes and picked up another piece of food for Ling Yufei with her chopsticks. Yufei, you eat, don't worry about him. Ji Yulang was speechless. My mother is too partial. If I wasn't afraid of being beaten, I would have asked myself whether I was my mother's biological child. After dinner, the family sat on the sofa watching TV, and Chen Lan talked about the major events in their lives. Yufei, you are pregnant. It is best to hold your wedding with Ji Yulang as soon as possible. Are you ready? Marriage is a big deal, and Chen Lan cannot let Ling Yufei down. It is better to have children after getting married. I'll take Ji Yulang home to meet my parents on Saturday and ask for their opinions and discuss it. Ling Yufei has to take Ji Yulang back to meet her parents before they can talk about marriage. To get married, you have to get engaged first. The parents of both parties only met when they got engaged. Okay, Ji Yulang will meet your parents. If there is no problem, our 2 families will discuss your marriage. Chen Lan nodded, approving of Ling Yufei's approach. Ji Yulang must meet his future father-in-law and mother-in-law and obtain their consent before their elders can discuss the wedding. Son, before I came here, I told your father to lend you money to buy a house. Since you bought the house yourself, call your dad and tell him not to lend you money. Chen Lan looked at the house from time to time, and suddenly thought that her husband might be borrowing money from relatives and friends. My son earned his own money to buy a house, so he doesn't need to borrow money. If you borrow money from relatives or friends, you will owe them a favor. It's best not to owe favors to others. Ji Yulang nodded, took out his cell phone and made a video call to his father. At this time, Ji Yulei was inviting a few friends to dinner and preparing to borrow money. They hadn't mentioned anything about borrowing money yet, they just said that their future daughter-in-law was pregnant with triplets, and everyone was in shock. When he received the video call from his son, Ji Yulei answered it without hesitation. We chatted for a while. Old man, did you borrow money? Chen Lan saw that her son saw someone over there and couldn't find a point to talk about for a long time, so she took the phone and asked herself. When Ji Yulei's friends heard about borrowing money, their faces changed, and they looked at each other, communicating silently with their eyes. Ji Yulei was shocked. His wife suddenly asked him to borrow money. This was not a good thing. His wife had already told him about it before he even asked for the loan, and it would be difficult to explain it later. Wife, why are you asking this all of a sudden? I haven't even opened my mouth yet. Who would lend it to me if you ask me like that? Ji Yulei avoided his friends with his phone in hand. He complained in his heart that his wife was going to do something bad. How can I buy a house for my son if I can't borrow money? How can my son get married without a house? Does my son still have to rent a house when he gets married? Fortunately, I didn't borrow money. Chen Lan breathed a sigh of relief. Old man, no need to borrow money. When Chen Lan noticed that her husband was avoiding other people, she stopped talking about anything else. No need to borrow money. Ji Yulei was stunned. How can I buy a house for my son without borrowing money? My son has graduated and is working in Jincheng, so he must buy a house in Jincheng. If they don't borrow money, how can the 1 million they have in savings be enough when the housing prices in Jincheng are so high? They have a house in the county town. Do their son and daughter-in-law have to go back to the county town to work? Impossible. When he graduated, my son said that he would work hard in Jincheng in the future. How can I buy a house for my son without borrowing money? Jiu Lei asked, the doubts in his mind. You look at this house. Chen Lan took out her cell phone and used the camera to take a picture of the living room of their house. The house is fine, what's wrong? Jiu Lei was a little confused. The house is nice, like a new one. But what does this have to do with whether I borrow money or not? This is the house my son bought. He made money and has already bought the house. We don't need to borrow money. Chen Lan showed off with pride on her face. My son is so outstanding, aren't you convinced? What? My son bought a house. Jiu Lei was dumbfounded again. Didn't this woman get her head caught in the toilet door on a plane today? Dad, I did buy a house myself. It was just bought not long ago. You will know when you come. I will show you the property certificate then. Jiu Lang appears on camera and explains to his father. Jiu Lei was still in a daze. When their son bought a house, he didn't ask them for money, he bought it on his own. Only. Where did you get the money? Jiu Lang couldn't help but ask. The housing prices in Jincheng are extremely expensive. The down payment for a house alone would cost over $1 million, and this is for an ordinary house, not in the city center. Where does my son's money come from? Won the lottery. Dad, it's like this. Jiu Lang explained it the same way he had told his mom. You made a house from stock speculation. Look at that house, it must be worth tens of millions, right? Your mother also said that you bought a car worth millions, all of which was earned from your stock trading. Jiu Lei was shocked. My son has already bought a car and a house. Money earned from stock trading. When did stock trading become so profitable? Isn't it said that stock trading is risky? Many people have lost their entire fortunes investing in stocks. Is my son a stock god? He really couldn't believe his son's situation. The couple worked hard for most of their lives, but only saved a little over 1 million yuan. As soon as my son graduated, he relied on his own stock trading to buy a car and a house. Jiu Lei knew about stocks, but he thought they were risky and didn't invest in them. Many of my friends invest in stocks, but most of them lose money and very few make money. Not to mention, making money to buy a car and a house. The family chatted for a long time and everyone appeared on camera. Dad, please come to Jincheng as soon as possible. Before hanging up the phone, Ling Yufei shouted to Jiu Lei. Dad? The future daughter-in-law calls me Dad. In an instant, Jiu Lei felt that his life was complete. This daughter-in-law is so nice. Okay, I'll come over after I finish my housework. Jiu Lei agreed repeatedly. Since the future daughter-in-law has called me, I naturally have to go to Jincheng early and arrange the marriage of the couple as soon as possible. Thinking about the triplets who would be born in 10 months, Jiu Lei's mouth stretched to his ears. He hung up the phone and excitedly shared the good news with his old friend. When his old friends heard that he didn't need to borrow money, they all breathed a sigh of relief. Chapter 15 Gifts. Now that his mother is here, Jiu Lang feels much more relieved. During the day, his mother stayed at home with Ling Yufei, so he could go to work with peace of mind. In the evening, I would walk with my mother and Ling Yufei in the community or the nearby park. Before going to bed, I communicated with 3 unborn little angels and received a reward of 150,000 yuan every day. After a few days, there were 600,000 or 700,000 yuan in the card. In the blink of an eye, it's almost Saturday. Jiu Lang was a little worried about meeting his father-in-law and mother-in-law. When you meet your parents-in-law for the first time, you must bring some gifts. But he didn't know what gift to bring. My father-in-law likes to drink tea. Can you buy some good tea for him? Jiu Lang asked Ling Yufei and found out that his father-in-law liked drinking tea, so he decided to focus on tea. Ordinary tea definitely won't work. He doesn't know much about tea and doesn't know which one to buy. In his spare time, he would stay in the office and search the internet. My father-in-law likes to drink tea, what kind of tea should I give him as a gift? Search online. After searching for a long time and hearing what netizens said, Jiu Lang still didn't know which one to buy. In addition to the gifts for his father-in-law, Jiu Lang was also worried about the gifts for his mother-in-law. What should I give as a gift? Ding, the host is visiting his father-in-law and mother-in-law for the first time, and is rewarded with 50 grams of top-grade Dahongpao and a box of premium bird's nest. Suddenly, a system prompt sounded in my mind. Oh my god! Is the system too timely? Ji Lang was ecstatic. He just checked on the internet that only 3 kilograms of top-grade Dahongpao are produced every year. Scarcity makes things valuable, and every gram of Dahongpao is priced sky-high. Even though it's only 50 grams of Dahongpao, it's worth 5 million. Still out of stock. Even if you have money, there is nowhere to buy it. Bird's Nest is a great product for beauty and skin care. Ji Lang didn't know much about birds' nests. He only knew that they were very expensive and something that ordinary people couldn't afford. I heard that this thing has the effect of beautifying and nourishing the skin. Women, especially older, wealthy women, love this thing very much. Anything rewarded by the system must be good. It is said to be the best bird's nest, and it is definitely the real best bird's nest. Now that he had prepared gifts for his father-in-law and mother-in-law, Ji Lang finally breathed a sigh of relief. These 2 gifts can please the parents-in-law without losing face. Ji Lang had to put a lot of thought into meeting his father-in-law and mother-in-law for the first time. Only if his father-in-law and mother-in-law are satisfied with him as a son-in-law, his marriage with Ling Yufei will be smooth. But here comes the next question. What about Dahongpao and Bird's Nest? There's nothing in the system. The reward for communicating with the baby is directly deposited into the bank card. The tens of millions of dollars spent on purchasing the car was converted into car coupons. Now, what about Dahongpao and Bird's Nest? As I was wondering, the phone on the desk rang. Hello, are you Mr. Ji Lang? After the call was connected, a voice was heard. It's me, you are. Ji Lang thought he was a salesman. Ji Lang's attitude towards telephone sales staff is still very good. He himself is in sales and can understand the difficulties faced by salespeople, so he naturally won't give a cold shoulder to his peers. Hello Mr. Ji Lang, I'm from Lee's Tea Shop. The Dahongpao you ordered from our store 3 months ago has arrived. Shall we deliver it to you, or do you come and get it? The person on the other end of the phone spoke very politely. Dahongpao will basically not enter the market. Even for their shop, it took a lot of effort to get these 50 grams. Customers who can buy Dahongpao are all super big customers, rich and powerful people. They dare not neglect such a big customer. Please send it to me, Jingsai Jewelry Headquarters, thank you. After hanging up the phone, another call came in. The call came from a high-end bird's nest brand company, which also asked Ji Lang whether he should pick it up himself or have it delivered to him. Similarly, Ji Lang was too lazy to run, so he asked the other party to bring it over. Not long after, the people delivering tea and bird's nest arrived at Jingsai Jewelry one after another and delivered the tea and bird's nest to Ji Lang. Looking at the tea leaves and bird's nest in front of him, Ji Lang nodded secretly. The system just solved his urgent problem. This system is so considerate. Tomorrow is Saturday. I will take these 2 gifts to conquer my father-in-law and mother-in-law. After get off work, Ji Lang drove home with tea and bird's nest. Honey, I cooked this vegetable. Look, it's delicious. I returned home, put down my things, went to the kitchen, and saw my mother and Ling Yufei busying themselves. Ling Yufei excitedly showed off the vegetables she had just cooked. It's delicious and tasty. The green color is almost turning black. Ji Lang complained jokingly. Mom, look at him. Ling Yufei pretended to be aggrieved and immediately called for help. What are you talking about? Chen Lan glared at Ji Lang. Wife, the dishes you cook are delicious, beautiful and cute. They make me hungry just by looking at them. In desperation, Ji Lang could only speak against his conscience. You are lying. From the look of you, you just want to say that the food I cooked is not tasty. Ling Yufei had no intention of letting Ji Lang go just like that. In fact, Ling Yufei's cooking is not that bad, nor that good, just average. I was speechless, and only after I admitted my mistake did I finally appease Ling Yufei. Xiao Lang, you are going to meet Yufei's parents tomorrow. What gift have you prepared? After dinner, Chen Lan asked the key question. When a son meets his father-in-law and mother-in-law, he cannot be careless and has to prepare some good gifts. Mom, I've prepared everything. Tea is for Yufei's father, and bird's nest is for Yufei's mother. Ji Lang signaled to his mother not to worry. Good. Chen Lan was very satisfied with her son's performance and prepared gifts for his father-in-law and his mother-in-law without having to worry about anything. Although Ling Yufei said that her parents were easy to talk to. But Chen Lan was still worried that her son would be harassed when he met his father-in-law and mother-in-law. It's a good idea that my son prepared these two gifts. At least when it comes to gift giving, there's nothing wrong with it. As for the rest, it depends on my son's performance. She couldn't help with that. Of course, she believed that her son's excellence would satisfy Ling Yufei's parents. At night, Ji Yulang prepared to go to bed with Ling Yufei. From today on, you are not allowed to touch Ling Yufei at night, Chen Lan warned sternly. Ling Yufei has just become pregnant, and if young people are not careful, it may affect the baby in her belly. Mom, I understand. Ji Yulang naturally nodded repeatedly. In fact, after learning their pregnancy care encyclopedia, he knew what to do. This is no joke. If you don't handle it well, there will be big problems. After returning to the room and lying on the bed, Ji Yulang hugged Ling Yufei. Are you nervous to meet my parents tomorrow? Ling Yufei touched Ji Yulang's cheek. A little nervous. Ji Yulang told the truth. It's impossible not to be nervous when meeting your future parents-in-law for the first time. Don't be nervous, my parents are very easy to talk to. I am their only daughter. As long as I like you, they won't make things difficult for you. Ling Yufei comforts Ji Yulang. Okay, if I don't do anything right, you have to help me out. Ji Yulang said this as he moved closer to Ling Yufei, looking a little eager to make a move. Chapter 16 Visiting the father-in-law and mother-in-law. Don't do anything rash. Mom said we can't do that anymore, otherwise it will affect the baby. Ling Yufei glared at him in warning. I know. Ji Yulang gritted his teeth and endured it. Holding my beautiful wife in my arms, I can't do anything, which makes me feel a little depressed. Let me hear what our baby is doing. Ji Yulang shifted his attention. I haven't had the 15 minutes of communication with my baby today. He put his head against Ling Yufei's belly and listened to the movements of the three little babies in her belly. I really admire you. You spoil them so much before they are born. If they are born, how much more will you spoil them? Ling Yufei rolled her eyes. This guy is like this every day. Of course I spoil you to death. Ji Yulang chuckled. 15 minutes later, 150,000 yuan was deposited into the account. Honey, do you like boys or girls? Ling Yufei asked, blinking. I like both boys and girls. Ji Yulang didn't have any particular preference on this point. Ling Yufei was very satisfied with Ji Yulang's answer. It would not be good if Ji Yulang favored boys over girls, or girls over boys. Are you saying I'm having a boy or a girl? As an expectant mother, Ling Yufei was very curious about the gender of her baby. Of course, like Ji Yulang, she has no particular preference. I'm just curious and want to communicate with Ji Yulang. Who knows? It would be best if there were both men and women. Triplets, 2 daughters and 1 son, or 2 sons and 1 daughter, are better. At least that's what Ji Yulang thinks. I think so too. It's better to have both sons and daughters. Ling Yufei and Ji Yulang's worldviews are very similar. Ling Yufei told her parents last night that she would bring Ji Yulang home today. After getting up and having breakfast in the morning, Ji Yulang prepared the gifts and drove Ling Yufei to her house. Honey, is this a dahongpao? Ling Yufei comes from a wealthy family, so she has naturally seen good things. Ling Yufei's father likes to drink tea and has all kinds of tea at home. She remembered that her father said that the best tea in the world was Wui Mountain dahongpao. The annual output of dahongpao is extremely small, only about 3 kilograms, and its price is more expensive than gold. 1 gram of dahongpao is worth 100,000 yuan, but it is still in short supply. The tea that Ji Yulang took was dahongpao. Even her father had never bought this tea. It's not that you can't afford it, but that you can't buy it. My dad told me that I had the chance to drink it once when I attended a tea party organized by a big shot. This shows how rare dahongpao is. I heard from you that your father likes to drink tea, so I prepared it specially. Ji Yulang looked at Ling Yufei with surprise and felt a little proud. My father-in-law likes to drink tea, so I prepared this dahongpao. At least when it comes to gifts, my father-in-law has no choice. I heard from my dad that dahongpao is not available in the market. How did you buy it? Is it fake? She was a little curious and a little suspicious, wondering if Ji Yulang had been cheated and bought a fake dahongpao. Of course it's not fake. One of my clients specializes in the tea business. He has a wide network of contacts, so I asked him to buy it for me. Ji Lang found a reasonable reason. How could something given by the system be fake? It seems like you've invested a lot of money, and you really have put a lot of thought into it. Ling Yufei told Ji Lang that he didn't need to buy a very good gift, as long as it was thoughtful. Unexpectedly, Ji Lang still bought to Honpao. This is necessary if I want to marry you home. Ji Lang thought to himself that this didn't even cost any money. Also, this bird's nest looks very high-end. My parents will definitely be satisfied with you as their son-in-law. Ling Yufei exclaimed in praise, saying that Ji Lang had done a great job. In order to prepare gifts, I specifically asked her about her parents' hobbies. The gifts were also carefully prepared and were all the parents' favorites. Har har, I must make them satisfied. Ji Lang boasted. Ling Yufei's home is in Lumingyuan, the top villa area in Jincheng. Those who live in Lumingarden are either rich or noble. When Ji Lang was dating Ling Yufei, he secretly came to Lumingarden to have a private meeting with Ling Yufei. So, I still know the place. He once dreamed that one day he would be able to buy a villa in Lumingyuan. I used to think that this was just a dream and I might never be able to afford it in my lifetime. Now that I have the system, I believe it won't be long before I can earn enough money to buy a villa in Lumingyuan. The price of a villa in Lumingyuan is over 50 million. From this we can see how good Ling Yufei's family background is. Ling Yufei is the daughter of a wealthy second generation, a typical fair, rich and beautiful woman. The fact that Ji Lang could date Ling Yufei and get married can be said to be a great blessing from his ancestors. Sorry, non-residents of the community are not allowed to enter. At the gate of Lumingarden, Ji Lang's car was stopped by security guards. The security here is very strict. No one is allowed to enter unless you are the owner or have the owner's consent. I am the owner of Villa number 9. Ling Yufei said. It turned out to be Miss Ling. The security guards at Lumingyuan remember every owner, this is a basic requirement. The owners of Lumingyuan are not simple people. If they offended any of the owners, they could be fired. If they don't do their job well, any owner will complain and they will have to pack up and leave. Ling Yufei's identity is not simple, so the security guard naturally recognized her. After registering Ji Lang and the vehicle, they were allowed to pass. The villas in Lumingyuan are all single-family villas. The villas are arranged in an orderly manner, and the closer they are to the front, the better their conditions and the more expensive they are. Ling Yufei's home is Villa number 9, which is quite close to the front, which shows the strength of Ling Yufei's family. Soon, the Porsche Panamera stopped in front of Villa number 9. After parking the car, Ji Lang and Ling Yufei got out, took the gifts from the trunk, and went into the villa with Ling Yufei. Miss, you're back. A middle-aged man in his 50s stood at the door to greet the two. Hello, Uncle Wu. Ling Yufei greeted. Uncle Wu's full name is Wu Zhenhai, and he is the steward of the Ling family. Ever since the Ling family moved here, Uncle Wu has been serving as the Ling family's housekeeper. It can be said that Uncle Wu watched Ling Yufei grow up. Ling Yufei respects Uncle Wu very much and regards him as an elder. This is Mr. Ji, right? Uncle Wu nodded and looked at Ji Lang. Hello, Uncle Wu. Ji Lang shouted along with Ling Yufei. Miss, Mr. Ji, the master and the mistress are waiting for you in the house. Uncle Wu invited the two of them in. The Song family's villa is in European style, and the decoration both outside and inside is very luxurious. Dad, Mom, I'm back. Ling Yufei entered the villa and ran towards her parents who were waiting for them on the sofa with a smile. My baby girl is back. Ling Yufei's father, Ling Jinghua, was very happy to see his precious daughter come home. Ling Yufei's mother, Dong Bijuan, was not happy that her daughter only came home once in such a long time, but she still smiled when she saw her daughter. There's nothing they can do, they only have this one precious daughter. Then, they looked at Ji Lang, who followed Ling Yufei in with a gift in his hand. Hello, uncle and aunt. Ji Lang took the initiative to say hello, this was a must. Ji Lang was quite nervous before meeting Ling Yufei's parents. When I got to the door just now, my palms were sweating. Now that I've seen him, I'm not nervous anymore. Chapter 17. Most people don't have this ability. Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijuan looked at Ji Lang carefully, as if they wanted to see something from him. Xiao Jiyu, come and sit down. Don't be shy. Just be like you're at home. After a while, Ling Jinghua waved. He had known for a long time that his daughter had a boyfriend, and she had even sent him photos of him. From the outside, he was still very satisfied with Ji Yulang. The young man has a handsome face and looks very energetic. Besides, his daughter likes it, so there is nothing he can do even if he is not satisfied. He doesn't have too many material demands on his daughter's other half. As long as there is no problem with his character and my daughter likes him, that's enough. Anyway, even if my daughter's boyfriend has no money, the Ling family has it. Thank you, uncle. Ji Yulang walked over and sat on the sofa, putting the gift aside. Ling Yufei talked to her parents, then came to Ji Yulang and held his hand. Such intimate actions are to show one's attitude to parents. Dong Bijuan had no intention of making things difficult for her son-in-law. The fact that her daughter had been in a relationship with Ji Yulang for 4 years showed that Ji Yulang was a good person. Her daughter likes him, and she doesn't object to her daughter being with Ji Yulang. Of course, we still need to understand what we should understand. Xiao Jiyu, I heard that you work at Jingcai Jewelry Company. Dong Bijuan asked. Yes, I was at Jingcai Jewelry when I was doing my internship. After the internship, I thought Jingcai Jewelry was good, so I stayed. Ji Yulang answered truthfully. Do you plan to earn money to buy a house yourself in the future, or ask your parents for help? Dong Bijuan asked this question to see whether Ji Yulang was ambitious. If young people want to gain a foothold in Jincheng, they must buy a house. If Ji Yulang relied solely on his parents, she would look down on him. The Ling family owns a large group company. The family has only one daughter, and the family business needs someone to take care of it. If Ji Yulang was a person who had no ambition, that would not be to their liking. Ling Jinghua nodded secretly. This was also what he wanted to ask. Ji Yulang's answer allowed them to see Ji Yulang's attitude towards life. Hearing this question, Ji Yulang smiled confidently. He worked hard in Jincheng and never planned to rely on his parents. Now that we have a system, we don't have to rely on our parents anymore. Auntie, I never thought of relying on my parents. I made money by investing in stocks when I was in college, and now I have bought a car and a house with the money I earned. What Ji Yulang said was half true and half false, but it showed his full strength. No matter what kind of father-in-law and mother-in-law they are, their considerations for their son-in-law will not change. The first thing is character, followed by whether one is motivated and the material conditions. Dong Bijuan's test for Ji Yulang is to see whether Ji Yulang is motivated. Children who rely on their parents usually have no ambition. The richer the family, the more afraid they are of young people who rely on their parents for support. No matter how rich you are, it is not enough for young people to squander. Wealth cannot last for more than 3 generations. This means that many second and third generations do not want to work hard, live lavishly, and eventually squander their family fortunes. The Ling family has no sons, only a daughter, so naturally they hope that their son-in-law is an ambitious person. If Ji Yulang answers that he would buy a house on his own, it means that Ji Yulang is ambitious. If Ji Yulang answered that he relied on his parents to buy a house, they would have to think carefully about whether to accept Ji Yulang as their future son-in-law. They don't want a son-in-law who has no ambition. Ji Yulang's answer surprised Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijuan. Did you earn money to buy a car and a house? Dong Bijuan looked at Ji Yulang in surprise, her face full of disbelief. Like his daughter, Ji Yulang had just graduated from college. In her opinion, even if Ji Yulang was very ambitious, it would take him at least until he was 30 to buy a house on his own. Of course, they couldn't really let Ji Yulang buy a house at that time and let their precious daughter suffer with Ji Yulang. If they don't have money to buy a house, they will definitely help their daughter and son-in-law find it. As long as Ji Yulang has good character, is motivated, and treats their daughter well, they have nothing to complain about. Unexpectedly, Ji Yulang bought a car and a house for himself not long after he started working. You're not trying to fool people, are you? Hee, Dad, Mom, it's true. Ji Yulang bought a car and a house. Let me tell you, among our classmates, Ji Yulang is the only one who bought a car and a house on his own. Ling Yufei saw that her mother didn't believe it, so she immediately joined in. She was telling the truth. Many of my classmates who come from well-off families do not go out to work and are still living off their parents at home. For those who are working, some either got into their relatives' companies through connections, or their jobs are not very good and are still in the starting stages. Only Jiu Lang earned money on his own and bought a car and a house. What does this prove? It proves that Jiu Lang is better than others of his peers. Dong Bijuan and Ling Jinghua looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. They are wealthy people who have made their fortune from nothing. At that time, they had just graduated from college and were still renting a small house of more than 10 square meters. Not many young people can buy a car and a house right after graduation. It seems that this future son-in-law is extremely outstanding. Did you buy the car and house in full or with a loan? Dong Bijuan asked. Auntie, I paid in full. Jiu Lang replied. Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijuan were shocked again. The housing prices in Jincheng are very expensive. Even a small apartment of 70 or 80 square meters in the suburbs costs 2 to 3 million yuan. This son-in-law is not only energetic, kind to his daughter, motivated, but also very capable. Now, they were even more satisfied with Jiu Lang. Xiao Chen, you are the most outstanding young man I have ever met. You said you made the money from stock trading. Let's talk about it sometime. Ling Jinghua praised him and was also interested in how Jiu Lang made money by trading stocks. He is a billionaire. In addition to managing his company, he also occasionally buys some stocks. But I didn't make any money from stock trading, instead I lost a lot. Of course, he is not short of money, so the loss is nothing. Just losing money made him feel depressed. It would be great if we could make money from the stock market. Jiu Lang earned money by speculating in stocks and bought a house and a car. At least in the stock market, he is much better than me. When I have time, I must have a good discussion with Jiu Lang about how to make money by trading stocks. When Jiu Lang heard his father-in-law say that he wanted to communicate with him, he felt a little guilty. I told this lie myself, and I have to cover it up no matter what. My mother said she wanted to follow me in stock trading, and my father-in-law said he wanted to communicate with me. It seems that I have to study stocks carefully when I get back. Otherwise, I won't know anything and it will be easy to be exposed. At least, you should say something when communicating with your father-in-law. You need to know about macroeconomic policies, industry information, and popular company news. Otherwise, it would be troublesome if my father-in-law found out that I was a fake. This is not just a question of whether you can make money by speculating in stocks, but it involves deception and is a question of character. By then, if my father-in-law thinks that there is something wrong with my character and doesn't let Ling Yufei marry him, then I'll be finished. Okay. Jiu Lang naturally agreed. Chapter 18 Top Quality Authentic Da Hong Pao. As they were talking, the servants brought tea, fruit, and snacks. A few people were drinking and chatting, and the atmosphere was very good. Dad, Mom, this is a gift that Jiu Lang bought for you. Ling Yufei picked up the gift that Jiu Lang bought and put it on the table. Ling Jinghua likes to drink tea. When he saw the Dahongpao tea in front of him, his pupils shrank and his breathing became rapid. Is this a Dahongpao? Ling Jinghua grabbed the gift box with both hands, his voice trembling. He tasted Dahongpao once, and many years later, he still savored the taste. How can I not be excited when I see Dahongpao? With his status, there is no way he can get Dahongpao. The son-in-law actually got it. Xiao Chen, can you buy Da Hongpao? Ling Jinghua took a deep breath and calmed down. How did Jiu Lang buy such a rare Dahongpao? Could it be fake? It's not that Jiu Lang used fake things to fool him, but that he felt that Jiu Lang was cheated. Otherwise, even a business tycoon worth billions like him would not be able to buy Dahongpao. How did Jiu Lang, a young man who just graduated from college, buy it? Jiu Lang's family background, his daughter said, is just an ordinary one. This Dahongpao cannot be bought just by having money. Uncle, it's like this. I have a client. Jiu Lang repeated to Ling Jinghua what he had said to Ling Yufei. From the outside, Ling Jinghua couldn't tell whether the Dahongpao was real or fake, so he opened the package carefully. He can tell the difference just by drinking the tea. After opening the outer packaging, Jiu Lang was stunned again. He thought that when Jiu Lang gave him Dahongpao, he would give him at most 10 or 20 grams. Unexpectedly, 50 grams was given. You know, the annual output of Dahongpao is only about 3 kilograms. Moreover, many wealthy and powerful people are scrambling to buy it. Xiao Jiu, I like drinking tea. You brought me Da Hongpao. I couldn't help it. I have to taste it first. If it was any other gift, Ling Jingwo would not open it on the spot, let alone taste it. It's different with tea. If he doesn't taste it, he won't be in the mood to chat. Look at my dad. He's like a child when he sees good tea leaves. Ling Yufei covered her mouth and laughed. Ji Yulang smiled. Seeing his father-in-law like this, it seemed that the trip would be basically fine. Uncle, let me do it. Ji Yulang prepared to get up and help make tea. No, it's more fun to make tea by yourself. Ling Jingwo waved his hands repeatedly, sat down beside the coffee table with tea leaves in his hand, and started working. Dong Bijuan was also shocked. Since her husband likes to drink tea, she naturally knows how precious de Hongpao is. Their husband spent the whole day trying to figure out how to get some de Hongpao tea, but there was no sign of de Hongpao. Unexpectedly, my son-in-law actually delivered it. While Ling Jingwo was making tea, Dong Bijuan looked at the box of bird's nest on the coffee table. Bird's nest is very precious in itself. Rich ladies like her eat it often to beautify their skin. Is this Fengyan's bird's nest? She looked at the box of bird's nest and her eyes lit up. There are many kinds of bird's nests. Because wealthy ladies are so fond of bird's nests, the market demand for bird's nests has exceeded supply, so artificially cultivated bird's nests appeared. Currently, most of the bird's nests on the market are artificially cultivated. There are very few wild bird's nests left. Artificially cultivated bird's nests have a high yield, but they are still not as good as wild bird's nests. Bird's nests are also divided into different grades. The best bird's nest is Fengyan's bird's nest. Dong Bijuan naturally knew about this kind of bird's nest. She asked people to buy it for her many times, but failed to do so. Wild bird's nests are rare, and Fengyan's bird's nest is the best quality wild bird's nest, and is even rarer. A bird's nest seller that Dong Bijuan knows said that no matter who wants to buy it, they have to queue up. Moreover, it takes several years to queue up. She booked it last year and was told the wait would be 5 years from now. In other words, it would take another 4 years before she could eat the Fengyan's bird's nest she ordered. Unexpectedly, my son-in-law brought me the Fengyan's bird's nest today. She did not take the initiative to open the package like Ling Jingwo did. This is different from tea. You can't just open it and drink it, right? Anyway, the things have been delivered, so it won't be too late to unpack them after Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei leave. As for whether it was true or not, she had no doubt about it. If a son-in-law comes to your house and brings fake gifts, he must be mentally ill. Xiao Jiyu, you are thoughtful. It seems that you are determined to take our precious daughter away from us. Dong Bijuan sighed. The first time Ji Yulang came to their house, he hit the old couple so spot directly, and it was obvious that he did not intend to give them any room for maneuver. Auntie, don't worry, I will definitely love Yufei well and will never let her suffer any grievances. Ji Yulang solemnly promised. I believe you. Dong Bijuan smiled and nodded. While they were chatting here, Ling Jingwo started to take action. He opened the tea can and immediately smelled the fragrance of tea. Ling Jingwo took a deep breath and became more energetic. Just by smelling the aroma of this tea, you can tell that it is top-notch tea. Ling Jingwo has a special liking for tea. He can tell whether a tea is good or bad just by smelling its fragrance. Next, it's time to make tea. This is a technical job. Ling Jingwo first warmed the cup, poured boiling water over the tea set several times, and then washed the tea set thoroughly. Then comes the tea wash. There are more or less impurities on the surface of tea leaves, and washing the tea can remove them. Ling Jingwo was reluctant to throw away the tea water used to wash the tea. It's true. Ling Jingwo took a sip of the tea used to wash the tea and felt that it tasted better than what he had drunk before. The tea used to wash the tea is better than what I drank before. This means that the de Hongpao sent by Ji Yulang is of better quality. Thinking of this, Ling Jingwo became even more excited. Ji Yulang gave himself 50 grams of de Hongpao. The pure value is millions. What's more, it is something that money can't buy. He can use these 50 grams to create greater value. Just taking out a few grams would cause a sensation in Jincheng's business community and allow him to make friends with even more powerful bosses. After brewing the tea, Ling Jingwo waved and asked Ji Yulang and the other two to come over and have some tea. The three of them naturally didn't hesitate and walked over to sit down. Although their tea is not as good as Ling Jingwo's, it is de Hongpao, the kind that you can't buy even if you have money, and it is still worth drinking. Xiao Jiyu, do you like tea? After pouring a cup for everyone, Ling Jinghua picked up his own teacup, took a sip, closed his eyes and savored it for a while before asking. He knew that his wife and daughter had no interest in tea, so he naturally wouldn't ask them. This was my first time meeting Jiyu Lang, and I didn't know much about him, so I could only ask him. I can't say I like it. It's the same whether I drink it or not. Jiyu Lang answered honestly that he was in sales and had learned a little about making tea and had drunk it with clients a few times. But I haven't developed the habit of drinking tea. You young people rarely have good tea. When you get older, it may be different. Ling Jinghua nodded. When he was young, it didn't taste good either. It wasn't until I was in my 30s that I became addicted to drinking tea. Yes, we are still in the stage of struggle, and we don't have the leisure time to slowly taste tea. Jiyu Lang nodded in agreement and expressed his own opinion. That's right, you young people should focus on your career. Xiao Chen, I can confirm that this is the top-grade authentic Da Hongpao, better than anything I've ever tasted. You are able to buy it. This ability is not something that ordinary people can have. Ling Jinghua nodded in agreement with Jiyu Lang's words, and then changed the subject to talk about Da Hongpao, sipping the tea happily and praising it. Chapter 19, Get the Wedding Done Soon. After hearing Ling Jinghua say this, Ling Yufei and Dong Bijuan both knew that this Da Hongpao was authentic. Ling Yufei felt very proud. At the same time, I felt that I couldn't see through Jiyu Lang. This guy made so much money quietly. I can also get Da Hongpao through customers, which even my dad can't afford. Dong Bijuan's heart moved. Da Hongpao is real, and Fengyanzi Bird's Nest should also be real. Jiyu Lang, the future son-in-law, is truly extraordinary, as he is able to get things that neither the couple can get. Then they drank tea and chatted. Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijuan looked at Jiyu Lang and became more and more satisfied. They accepted this son-in-law. Mom and Dad, I want to tell you something. Seeing that Jiyu Lang had gained the approval of his parents, Ling Yufei took the opportunity to open the main topic. What's up? Dong Bijuan and Ling Jinghua were both a little confused. My daughter has always been straightforward in front of them, saying whatever she wants to say, but why is she hesitant today? I want to go with Jiyu Lang to register for the marriage certificate. Please give me the household registration booklet. Ling Yufei looked at Jiyu Lang lovingly, then looked at her parents with a happy smile on her face. Take their household registration booklet to register and get the certificate. Dong Bijuan and Ling Jinghua looked at each other. They knew that their daughter would get married when she grew up. But I didn't expect this day to come so soon. They originally thought that their daughter had just graduated from college and could at least stay with them for a few more years. I didn't expect that we would have to register for marriage now. This means that their daughter will leave them and become someone else's daughter-in-law. Their daughter was their treasure, and suddenly she was leaving them. Reluctance, loss, helplessness, all kinds of complex emotions intertwined in the hearts of Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijuan. Ling Jinghua suddenly felt that the Da Hongpao in his hand was no longer fragrant. No matter how good Da Hongpao is, it is not as good as a daughter. It's too early. Ling Jinghua sighed, feeling very reluctant to see his daughter get married so soon. Once you get the marriage certificate, it won't be long before you get married. Without any psychological preparation, Ling Jinghua really found it difficult to accept it for a while. Yeah, it's too early. Dong Bijuan sighed. This sigh is filled with a mother's reluctance. Seeing her parents like this, Ling Yufei's eyes turned red and her mood became depressed. She knew her parents were reluctant to let her go, and getting her marriage certificate with Jiyu Lang meant becoming a member of the Jiyu family. From now on, when I go home, I am not going home, but going back to my parents' home, and even the name has changed. Dad, Mom, we've already discussed it. Jiyu Lang and I have been together for 4 years, and we still love each other after we leave school. We will get married sooner or later, so we might as well get married sooner. Ling Yufei was also reluctant to leave, but there were some roads that she had to keep moving forward. Jiyu Lang treated him very well. No matter how willful she was, he was willing to accommodate him and tolerate her. If you find such a man, you must seize him. Her hand was tightly held with Jiyu Lang's, with their fingers interlocked, showing her determination. This is the most important decision of your life. Have you really thought it through? Tears welled up in Dong Bijwan's eyes and she wiped them away quickly. She was a little worried that her daughter made the decision impulsively. Although she was very satisfied with Jiyu Lang as her future son-in-law, this was a major event that would affect her daughter's life, so she still had to ask again. Dad, Mom, I've made up my mind. I will not marry anyone but Jiyu Lang in this life. Ling Yufei once again expressed her firm stance. Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijwan looked at each other. Now, they completely understood that their daughter was determined to marry Jiyu Lang. Since you have made up your mind, your mother and I will naturally not interfere with you. Ling Jinghua sighed. Yes, as long as you are happy. Dong Bijwan's tears started flowing again, this time with a sobbing tone. My daughter has grown up and will eventually get married. We should be happy that she can find her own happiness. Ling Jinghua's eyes were a little red as he comforted Dong Bijwan. Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijwan were naturally very reluctant to let their daughter get married, and it was normal for them to feel sad. My daughter will get married sooner or later, she just got married a little early. Mom and Dad, don't worry. Now that I found Jiyu Lang, I found happiness, Ling Yufei said. Uncle and Aunt, don't worry, I will take good care of Yufei. Jiyu Lang promised again. We believe you. Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijwan both nodded. With their experience, they can naturally see it. Jiyu Lang, the son-in-law, is indeed someone worthy of my daughter's lifelong trust. By the way, you just graduated from college, why are you getting married so early? Dong Bijwan was still a little confused. The daughter said that she had chosen Jiyu Lang. Even if you have decided on Jiyu Lang and will not marry anyone else, you can wait a few years before getting married. Are young people nowadays so anxious? Mom and Dad, I really want to stay with you for a few more years, but I'm pregnant, so I want to get married early to welcome the arrival of the little angel. Ling Yufei subconsciously touched her belly. She hasn't told her parents about her pregnancy yet. Now, we can't hide it anymore. What? Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijwan were both stunned. My daughter is pregnant. It's too fast. They were already shocked enough when we talked about marriage. Now, we even have children. The key is that the two have not yet married. No wonder my daughter is in a hurry to get married. If you are pregnant, you naturally cannot give up the child. Having a child before getting married, not only the daughter doesn't want to, but they all don't want to. Are you sure? Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijwan stared at their daughter's belly with wide eyes, but it was not obvious at all. Of course I'm sure. The test a few days ago showed that it was triplets. Speaking of triplets, Ling Yufei's face was once again filled with a happy smile. What? Triplets? Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijwan were shocked again. Yufei, are you serious? You're pregnant with triplets. Dong Bijwan's breathing became rapid. My God, looking around the world, triplets are rare. Mom, why would I lie to you? I'm really pregnant with triplets. Ling Yufei said this while looking at Jiyu Lang with love. After getting a positive answer, Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijwan became happy. The sadness just now was swept away. Triplets. They are going to have 3 grandchildren. Yufei, I'm not saying anything bad about you, but why didn't you tell us about this big thing earlier? Tell us so I can take care of you. You're pregnant with triplets, so you can't be careless during the pregnancy. Dong Bijwan changed the subject and started criticizing her daughter again. My daughter was pregnant with triplets, which was different from other women's pregnancies. Must be taken care of. Mom, I'm fine. Jiyu Lang takes good care of me. I'm almost useless now. Ling Yufei's face was full of happy smile. That won't work either. He's a grown man, and there are bound to be unexpected things. Dong Bijwan was not satisfied with her daughter's answer. Ling Yufei wanted to say something else, saying that Jiyu Lang's mother came to Jincheng to take care of her. Just then, Ling Jinghua spoke. Xiao Jiyu, since Yufei has a child, you decided to get married as soon as possible. When will your parents have time to come to Jincheng? Our 2 elders can meet and discuss your marriage together. Have the wedding as soon as possible before the baby is born. Ling Jinghua thought more. When my daughter gets married, we must hold a wedding. It's better not to change the order of getting married and having children. The wedding must be held before the baby is born. Given the Ling family's financial situation, their daughter's wedding cannot be simple. Chapter 20. No wonder he could kidnap my daughter. That's right, Xiao Jiyu, get your parents to Jincheng as soon as possible, and our two elders will discuss your marriage together. Dong Bijuan echoed and urged. Uncle and aunt, my mother has already come to Jincheng, and my father will be here in 2 days. Seeing his father-in-law and mother-in-law taking such initiative, Ji Yulang was naturally very happy. You two kids are so ignorant. You didn't tell us about such a big thing earlier. Xiao Jiyu, I don't care. From today on, I will take care of Ling Yufei, otherwise I will be worried. Dong Bijuan blamed again. My daughter was pregnant with triplets, so she had to be extremely careful during the pregnancy. She was worried about someone else taking care of her daughter. Auntie, my mother is here to take care of Ling Yufei, you don't have to worry. Ji Yulang asked his mother to come over specifically to take care of Ling Yufei. My mother-in-law wants to intervene. What if she doesn't get along with my mother? Xiao Jiyu, why do you still call me auntie? Dong Bijuan glared at Ji Yulang. I was thinking, you're getting married to my daughter, and we already have a child, but you still call me auntie. Can't you change your words? Phut. Ling Yufei burst out laughing and quickly pulled Ji Yulang, change your words. Mom, I understand. Ji Yulang laughed dryly and quickly changed his words. Hey, okay, from now on we are family. They say a son-in-law is half a son. You are not half a son, but my son, just like Yufei, you are my child. Dong Bijuan immediately smiled and treated Ji Yulang as her own son. Ji Yulang was naturally very happy when he sensed the change in Dong Bijuan's attitude. You just said that your mother came to Jincheng specifically to take care of Yufei. That's fine. I'll take care of her with your mother. Yufei is pregnant with triplets, so she needs to be more careful than ordinary pregnant women. Your mother must be very tired taking care of her alone. Besides, I know Ling Yufei's temper. It would be better if I can take care of her together. Dong Bijuan still has to personally participate in her daughter's care during pregnancy. Of course she was concerned about her baby daughter's pregnancy. Not to mention, the baby daughter was pregnant with triplets. Thinking about having 3 grandchildren soon, Dong Bijuan was so happy that she couldn't stop smiling. How about this, have lunch at home at noon, and then we'll go meet your mother and take a look at the house you bought. Since Dong Bijuan knew that Ji Yulang's mother was coming, she naturally wanted to meet her. Besides, she wanted to see the house that Ji Yulang bought to feel at ease. If you buy a small apartment and it is not comfortable to live in, you will have to help your daughter and son-in-law to change houses. Okay. Ji Yulang naturally had no objection. Before eating, Dong Bijuan opened the bird's nest. Fengyanzi's bird's nest really lives up to its reputation. Judging from its appearance and purity, you can tell that this bird's nest is the best among all birds' nests, and its value is almost the same as that of the Hongbao. The key is that this thing cannot be bought with money. The son-in-law was able to buy it, he must be a very capable person. No wonder this little guy was able to kidnap my daughter. He is really capable. Dong Bijuan couldn't help but mutter. After eating and resting for a while, the 4 of them went out to Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei's new home. Is this the car you bought? Ling Jingguo was a little surprised to see the Porsche parked in the yard. He could naturally tell that this was a top-of-the-line Panamera, which cost more than 2 million. Originally, he thought Ji Yulang would buy a car worth at most 2 or 300,000 yuan. Unexpectedly, he bought a luxury car worth millions. Just after graduating from college, he relied on his own abilities to buy not only a house but also a luxury car. I have to say that Ji Yulang, the son-in-law, is better than I imagined. Yes. Ji Yulang nodded slightly. You are worthy of being my son-in-law, you are really capable. Dong Bijuan smiled and praised. Soon, the driver came out in a Bentley. Cars like Maybach, Bentley and Rolls-Royce are the cars of choice for business tycoons like Ling Jingguo. Xiao Jiyu, you lead the way in front and we will follow behind. Ling Jingguo said something to Ji Yulang, and got into the Bentley with Dong Bijuan. Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei got into the Porsche Panamera and led the way. Inside the Bentley. Old Ling, I think Ji Yulang is a great son-in-law. What do you think? Dong Bijuan looked at the Porsche Panamera leading the way in front and exclaimed in admiration. It's really good. Ling Jingguo naturally nodded to show his satisfaction. The 2 of them praised Ji Yulang. It can be said that the first time Ji Yulang came to their house, both the gifts he gave and the way he behaved were beyond their expectations. I really don't know where he bought the Da Hong Pao and Fong Yang Zi bird's nest from. We can't buy these things. Dong Bijuan sighed. Until now, she still couldn't figure out how Ji Lang bought these two items. This son-in-law is extremely capable. Of course, she didn't ask further. For things like this, if Ji Lang wants to say it, then he can say it. If he doesn't want to say it, then there is no need to ask. Yeah, I don't know where he bought it from. Ling Jinghua sighed, the young man's ability is far beyond our imagination. I'll talk to him some other day and ask him to come work in the company. The company will definitely be handed over to my daughter in the future. My son-in-law is so outstanding, we should train him early. When they grow up, we will hand over the company to them and we will retire and enjoy a peaceful life. Ling Jinghua is already planning how to let Ling Yufei and Ji Lang take over. Before he met Ji Lang, he didn't dare to make this decision. Now that I see that Ji Lang is so outstanding, I am naturally relieved. This is good. Let the young people do their work and we will help take care of the 3 grandchildren. Speaking of her 3 grandchildren, Dong Bijuan became even happier. Porsche Panamera. Ji Lang was driving and Ling Yufei was sitting in the passenger seat. Look, my parents are easy to talk to. Ling Yufei was holding the household registration book in her hand. Her father gave it to her before she went out. Before coming back, she thought it would take some effort to convince her parents. Unexpectedly, things went so smoothly. Yes, it's easy to talk to. Ji Lang nodded. You don't know, when I arrived at your door, my palms were sweating with nervousness. But when I saw our parents, I don't know why, I suddenly wasn't nervous anymore. He is telling the truth. He had heard about many cases where fathers-in-law and mothers-in-law made things difficult for their sons-in-law. Ling Yufei's parents didn't make things difficult for him at all. I have to say that it is a lucky thing to meet such a father-in-law and mother-in-law. It must be because you saw my parents' kind faces that you are no longer nervous. Ling Yufei giggled. It should be. Ji Lang nodded in agreement with Ling Yufei's point of view, and then changed the subject. When the Civil Affairs Bureau opens on Monday, we will go to get the certificate. After getting the marriage certificate, the two will truly become husband and wife. The wedding will be held in a while, and we are looking forward to the birth of 3 little angels. Okay, from now on I will be Mrs. Jiu. After getting married, Ling Yufei became a member of the Jiu family. Her household registration will be moved from the Ling family to Jiu Lang's family. Chapter 21 Two Moms. The Blue Sea Garden by the River. Mother-in-law. When they entered Ji Lang and Ling Yufei's new house, Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijuan saw Chen Lan who was cleaning the house. Dong Bijuan walked over enthusiastically and held Chen Lan's hand. Are you Yufei's parents? Chen Lan was a little overwhelmed. Aren't the in-laws too enthusiastic? My son said that Ling Yufei comes from a wealthy family and lives in a villa area. Such a family cannot be compared with the Jiu family. Originally, she was worried that her in-laws would be difficult to deal with. Before Ji Lang left today, she was worried that Ling Yufei's parents would make things difficult for Ji Lang. Unexpectedly, my in-laws were so kind and seemed easy to talk to. Yes, we will be a family from now on. Dong Bijuan is satisfied with Ji Lang as her son-in-law, so naturally she wants to get along well with Chen Lan, her mother-in-law. Otherwise, my daughter will definitely suffer after marrying into this family. Moreover, she worked hard with Ling Jinghua to build a huge family business. Having been in the business world for a long time, he has a good way of judging people. Looking at Chen Lan's face, she knew that Chen Lan was an easy person to get along with. After communicating with each other for a while, the two became close sisters. After the greetings, Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijuan walked around and took a look at Ji Lang and Ling Yufei's new home. The new house surprised them a little. The house is quite big. Although it is not as big as their villa, it is definitely spacious and bright. What's more, this community is a high-end one. A house like this would probably cost around 20 million. After seeing their house, Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijuan became even more satisfied with Ji Lang as their son-in-law. Mother-in-law, I heard from Ji Lang that you are taking care of Yufei. It's too hard for you to take care of her alone. I'll take care of her with you in the future. I can share your pressure and talk to you. What do you think? Dong Bijuan discussed with Chen Lan about taking care of Ling Yufei together. It's not that she was afraid that Chen Lan couldn't take good care of her, but Yu Fei was her precious daughter, and her precious daughter was pregnant, so she wanted to be involved personally. Of course, I really mean it when I say I want to share Chen Lan's pressure. Isn't this too much trouble? Won't it delay your work? Chen Lan didn't have any objection, but she was afraid that it would delay Dong Bijuan's business. Ling Yufei is her daughter-in-law, and it is only natural for her to take care of Ling Yufei. Chen Lan is Ling Yufei's biological mother. No one can say anything whether she takes care of her or not. The Ling family is wealthy and powerful, so Dong Bijuan must have a lot of things to do, so she doesn't have the time. It won't delay me. I rarely take care of things now. Just now in the car, Dong Bijuan had already discussed with Ling Jinghua that she would focus on taking care of her daughter. As for the company, let Ling Jinghua take care of it. Okay, let's take care of it together. Since Dong Bijuan said so, Chen Lan naturally would not refuse. The two quickly agreed to take care of Ling Yufei together until Ling Yufei gave birth to their child. Dong Bijuan comes here during the day and returns to Lumingyuan at night. It would be tiring to run back and forth like this, but Dong Bijuan is willing to do it. She doesn't think it's hard at all and is full of expectations for such a life. Dinner was prepared by Chen Lan and Dong Bijuan together. Mother-in-law, please ask Lao Jiyu to come to Jiangcheng as soon as possible. Come here, let's discuss it between our two families and hold the wedding of our two children as soon as possible. During the meal, the family was talking and laughing, and Dong Bijuan gave a reminder. Okay, I'll call him later and ask him to come early. Chen Lanli was very happy that her in-laws were concerned about their child's marriage and she didn't have to worry about it anymore. It is a great fortune to meet such good in-laws. After dinner and chatting for a while, Ling Jinghua and Dong Bijuan left. Chen Lan took her son and daughter-in-law and sent the two downstairs. Go back. See you tomorrow. Dong Bijuan waved goodbye, and she and Ling Jinghua got into the Bentley and left. Ling Jinghua returned home with his son Jiyu Lang and daughter-in-law and called Jiyu Lei. Lao Jiyu, what's wrong with you? It's been so many days, why haven't you come yet? When the call was connected, Chen Lan started to ask a lot of questions. The in-laws have taken the initiative to propose the wedding of the two children, but Jiyu Lei hasn't arrived yet, which is a bit inappropriate. It will take me a few days to finish my housework, so don't rush me. Just take good care of your daughter-in-law. Jiyu Lei was somewhat impatient with Chen Lan's questioning. My son is getting married in Jincheng and it is impossible for him to come back in a short time. He has to arrange everything in the store before he can go, which is not an easy task. Look at you, you're always so slow. Chen Lan scolded again. I've met the two in-laws today. They are very nice and even mentioned their child's wedding. You better come here quickly so that we can arrange our son's wedding as soon as possible. What? Jiyu Lei was stunned. He was originally worried that his in-laws would make things difficult for him, or that they would ask for an exorbitant amount of money for the bride price. I didn't expect that my in-laws would be so nice. Okay, I'll take care of it as soon as possible and come over when I'm done. Since Chen Lan said so, Jiyu Lei had to speed up. Sunday. After Dong Bijuan had breakfast, she came to Jiyu Lang's house. I also brought a lot of food, all for nutritional supplements. Her daughter was pregnant with triplets, and she had to eat the food of 4 people, so she was worried that her daughter would not get enough nutrition. Jiyu Lang looked at his mother and mother-in-law who were busy at work, feeling a little amused and helpless. Of course, since his mother and mother-in-law are taking care of Yufei, he can go to work with peace of mind. My father-in-law still has to take care of the company, otherwise he would definitely come over to join in the fun. Yufei, you are so lucky. I'm so envious of having 2 mothers to take care of me. At night, Jiyu Lang hugged Ling Yufei and lay on the bed. Jiyu Lang discovered that there was a slight bulge in Ling Yufei's abdomen. The 3 babies are growing slowly in their mother's belly. Of course. From today on, I have 2 mothers. Ling Yufei's face was filled with pride. She was so happy to have 2 mothers taking care of her. You have 2 mothers, and I also have 2 mothers. Jiyu Lang said with some jealousy. Your 2 mothers won't take care of you, they will only take care of me. Zhu Ruofei raised her eyebrows provocatively. Well. Jiyu Lang was speechless. That is true, his 2 mothers don't care about him. Okay, I won't argue with you anymore. I just have our 3 little babies. Jiu Lang lay on Ling Yufei's belly and communicated with the three little babies. Why do you always lie on my stomach? You're almost crushing me. Ling Yufei rolled her eyes. This guy says he wants to communicate with the baby every day. I really don't know, what is there to communicate? Is it possible that three little babies can talk to him? Hee, don't worry, I will be careful and will definitely not be able to overwhelm you. Let me tell you, just now the three little darlings said, Daddy is so handsome. Jiu Lang chuckled. I think it means that Dad is shameless. Ling Yufei was speechless. Ding! The host communicates with the baby for 1 minute and receives a cash reward of 10,000 yuan. 15 minutes later, 150,000 arrived. Jiu Lang reluctantly left Ling Yufei's belly. Wife, I'm going to take a day off tomorrow, let's go get the certificate. Jiu Lang plans to take a leave tomorrow and go get the marriage certificate with Ling Yufei. Okay, you are the head of the family, you have the final say. Ling Yufei smiled sweetly. The two are finally going to get their marriage certificate. Many couples in college end up breaking up after graduation. Very few are still together, let alone married. They still love each other and are about to get married. In our family, the wife is the boss, and you are the head of the family. I dare not act like a boss. Jiu Lang knew that a man should love his wife, respect his wife, and do whatever his wife says. You have honey on your lips today, right? Ling Yufei showed a happy and sweet smile on her face. You'll know if you try it. Jiu Lang gave a wicked smile and moved closer to Ling Yufei. You bastard, Mom said you can't. Ling Yufei reached out to push Jiu Lang away. Don't worry, it's just a kiss. Jiu Lang kissed Ling Yufei's alluring red lips. Chapter 22 Getting the Certificate. The next day. After getting up in the morning and having breakfast, Jiu Lang called Zhang Minqiu to ask for leave, and then he and Ling Yufei went to the Civil Affairs Bureau with their household registration books. They were finally getting their marriage certificate, and the two of them walked like two happy little rabbits. When they arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau, they found a lot of people queuing up, so they consciously queued up at the back. I'm going to get the certificate. I'm really looking forward to it. Ling Yufei's face was full of happiness, holding Jiu Lang's hand in one hand and holding the household registration book in the other. Now that we have obtained the certificate, you will never be able to escape from my grasp. Jiu Lang grinned. If you dare to bully me, I'll let my two mothers take care of you. Ling Yufei snorted proudly. She has the highest status in the family, while Jiu Lang has the lowest. There are two mothers in between, so it is extremely easy to deal with Jiu Lang. They played around for a while. There are quite a lot of people getting married today. Yeah, when will it be our turn? The two of them became a little anxious. There are too many people queuing up, it forms a long queue. Judging from the length of the line, it would be good if you can get the certificate before lunch. Young man, are you here to get a divorce? You two look so young, did you get divorced right after getting married? Several middle-aged men and women were surprised when they saw Jiu Lang and Ling Yufei queuing behind them. It's fine if they are going through a midlife crisis and getting divorced, but it's a bit abnormal that Jiu Lang and Ling Yufei are getting divorced at such a young age. At least I can persevere until middle age like them. Jiu Lang and Ling Yufei were confused. What divorce? We are here to get married. Ling Yufei explained. Marriage? Then you are in the wrong line. This is for divorces, and that is for marriages. There was a middle-aged woman who showed the way for the two. Jiu Lang and Ling Yufei looked in the direction the middle-aged woman pointed, only to find marriage registration written on the desk over there. Oh my God! It turns out that place is for weddings and this place is for divorces. We arranged it in the wrong order, thank you. Ling Yufei was embarrassed. She thanked him and quickly pulled Jiu Lang away from the team. They were so excited to come and get their marriage certificate that when they saw people queuing up here, they lined up voluntarily. Unexpectedly, those queuing up were people getting divorced. The two came to the marriage registration office. No one was getting married and the staff were bored. Are you getting married or divorced? Seeing Jiu Lang and Ling Yufei coming over, the staff asked a question. She naturally noticed that Jiu Lang and Ling Yufei were just in the queue for divorce. Get married. Jiu Lang said quickly. Then why are you queuing? The staff member said with a smile. I was just wondering, how come you are so young and you are getting a divorce? It's arranged wrongly. Ji Lang scratched his head in embarrassment. "Give me the household registration book," said the staff. The two of them quickly handed over their household registration books. 10 minutes later. "Okay, I wish you a long and happy life together." The staff handed 2 red books to the two and gave their blessings. "Thank you." The two of them were very excited holding the red notebook. "Wife, from now on, you are mine." Ji Lang was even more excited and hugged Ling Yufei, kissing her seductive red lips hard. Ling Yufei's face turned red with embarrassment. This bastard actually kissed her in front of so many people. When the staff saw how affectionate the two were, they just smiled and said nothing. This is basically the case for people who get a marriage certificate. The picture of people queuing up for divorce is quite different. Most people had sad faces and would quarrel from time to time. There are too many divorces. After putting away the marriage certificate, Ji Lang couldn't help but complain. There are not many people getting married, but there is a long queue of people getting divorced. Now that you have obtained the marriage certificate, live your life well. The staff kindly advised. Thanks. After thanking them again, Ji Lang and Ling Yufei left the Civil Affairs Bureau. Ding! Congratulations to their host for getting the marriage certificate. You will be awarded 1 million Douyin coins. The coins have been deposited into their host's Douyin account. Douyin coins cannot be withdrawn, and can only be used as rewards on the Douyin platform. Rewards will receive a 100-fold cashback reward, which will be paid in cash to their host's bank card. Just walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. The system prompt sounded in Ji Lang's mind. Ji Lang knew that he should get a marriage certificate to trigger the reward. Doubi is the virtual currency of the Dola live streaming platform, which is specifically used for platform consumption and is basically used for rewards. 1 Do coin is equal to 1 Dragon coin. Got a million Douyin coins, which is equivalent to a million Dragon coins. There are rules for the use of millions of Douyin coins. They cannot be withdrawn and can only be spent. At first, Ji Lang felt a little unconvinced. Then he noticed that if he spent 1 million Douyin coins, he could get a 100-fold cashback reward. That is to say, as long as he uses these 1 million Douyin coins, he can get a cashback of 100 million and directly join the ranks of billionaires. Oh my god, it's so cool. With all his cars and houses combined, he has already become a multi-millionaire. However, these are not intended to be monetized. At present, he has very little cash on hand. Just by communicating with the baby every day, I earn hundreds of thousands, but not even 1 million. Only when he can get a cashback of 100 million from 1 million Douyin coins can he be considered a truly rich man and no longer have to worry about money. Thinking that he was about to get 100 million, Ji Lang was so excited that he almost laughed like a pig. What are you grinning about? Ling Yufei noticed Ji Lang grinning foolishly and couldn't help but punch him. I know you are happy to get the marriage certificate, but there is no need to be so happy. Ji Lang came back to his senses and calmed down. I am now a systematic person, and 100 million is just the beginning. In the future, there will be countless hundreds of millions waiting for him to earn. He picked up Ling Yufei and kissed her hard several times. Asshole, don't do this with so many people around. With so many people around, Ling Yufei still felt embarrassed. What does it matter? You are my wife. What's wrong with a kiss? Who can say anything? Ji Lang smiled. Why were you grinning like an idiot? Ling Yufei thought to herself, you have no shame but I do, and quickly changed the topic to prevent this guy from coming again. I will definitely make a lot of money from my stocks recently, and then we will have enough money for our baby's milk powder. Since he couldn't talk about the system, Ji Lang made up this reason. Once he gets 100 million in cash, he can share his bank card balance with Ling Yufei. Let Ling Yufei know his financial resources so that she can have peace of mind during her pregnancy. He had never revealed his wealth to Ling Yufei, and in fact he didn't have much wealth before. The stock stuff is all made up. Once the 100 million arrives, he can confidently reveal it to Ling Yufei. Really, how much can you earn? Ling Yufei was a little curious about how much money Ji Lang made from stock trading. Ji Lang never told her about it, and she never asked. If Ji Lang wants to talk, he can talk. If he doesn't want to talk, she won't ask any more questions. About 100 million. I'll sell the stocks in a couple of days and show you exactly how much I made. Ji Lang decided to use up the 1 million Douyin coins in the next 2 days. As for how to use it, of course it is to give gifts to the Dola anchor. Can I appear in the photo myself and paint it for myself? Gu Lang suddenly thought that if he were to do a live broadcast, the gifts would be given to himself. According to their host's commission ratio, he should be able to earn hundreds of thousands. So much. Ling Yufei was stunned. Their family has assets worth billions, so it is not easy to make 100 million. This guy Gu Lang can make 100 million just by speculating in stocks. It's not an ordinary ability. Of course, don't you see whose husband I am? Gu Lang boasted and reached out to scratch Ling Yufei's nose. Hubby, you're awesome. Ling Yufei couldn't help but kiss Gu Lang as a reward to him. Chapter 23 Wenyani. On their way back, Gu Lang was thinking about how to spend 1 million Douyin coins. I want to give myself rewards during a live broadcast. It seems to be possible, but the system says that it can only be used for consumption. I don't know if I can give rewards to myself. System, can I start a live broadcast and earn Douyin coins for myself? Gu Lang was too lazy to think about it anymore and asked the system. The host can do this, but there is no cashback reward. The system answers. You can swipe it, but there is no cashback. Of course you can't brush it. You can't give up 100 million in cashback just for the few 100,000 in share from the Dola platform. Only a fool would do that. Then, he thought of letting Ling Yufei do a live broadcast. But Ling Yufei is pregnant, so it is more important to take care of the fetus. Besides, he is now an independent person and he really shouldn't be obsessed with those petty gains. Just give it to other anchors. As for who to give it to, Gu Lang hasn't decided yet. When the time comes, log into the Dola app and give it to whoever you like. It was only 10 o'clock in the morning when I got home. Gu Lang didn't go to work because he had taken a day off. During the day, I took Ling Yufei and the two mothers for a walk around the area and bought some clothes and jewelry for them. To be honest, accompanying 3 women shopping made Gu Lang feel more tired than going to work. At night, Gu Lang and Ling Yufei lay on the big bed. No cell phones allowed. Gu Lang became unhappy when he saw Ling Yufei playing with her cell phone. After Ling Yufei became pregnant, he didn't allow her to play with her cell phone. The Complete Guide to Pregnant Women's Care says that playing with mobile phones is not good for the baby in the belly. Hubby, I'll just play for a while and watch Niz's live broadcast. Ling Yufei looked pitiful. Watch Niz's live broadcast. Gu Lang was stunned. He also has millions of Douyin coins ready for rewards. I took Ling Yufei and her two mothers out to play during the day and had no time to operate the machine. Now that I have free time, I can use Douyin coins. The girl Ling Yufei was talking about was named Wenyani. She was Ling Yufei's college roommate and also Ling Yufei's best friend. Since Gu Lang and Ling Yufei were in love, they naturally had a lot of contact with Wenyani. They naturally knew that Wenyani had been doing live broadcasts when she was in college and was still doing it now. In fact, Wenyani can also be considered his friend. He didn't think about Wenyani during the day, but now that Ling Yufei mentioned her, Gu Lang decided to give 1 million Douyin coins to Wenyani. What are you doing, Nizi? Gu Lang would occasionally watch live broadcasts and had the Dola app on his phone. He opened the Dola app on his phone and moved closer to Ling Yufei. Singing, Nizi works during the day and live broadcasts at night, it's very hard. Ling Yufei is used to watching Wenyani's live broadcasts. Wenyani started doing live broadcasts when she was in college, but she wasn't very famous and is still just a small anchor. Wenyani is a part-time live streamer and can earn some pocket money. Gu Lang saw that Wenyani was singing and her voice was very beautiful. Wenyani is very beautiful, almost catching up with Ling Yufei. She is beautiful and has a sweet voice. She has not signed a contract with any guild and is a personal anchor with more than 200,000 fans. When she was in college, Wenyani could earn several thousand yuan every month by live streaming, and she earned her living expenses and tuition fees on her own. Gu Lang still admires Wenyani, who is a very motivated girl. Wenyani comes from an average family and has an independent personality. She uses the money she earned from live streaming in college to support herself and her family. Thank you, hello beautiful, for the flowers. Thank you for the fireworks from, I like you. Thank you, I am the king. After singing a song, some fans gave her small gifts and Wenyani thanked them one by one. Gu Lang and Ling Yufei watched Wenyani's live broadcast. Both of them are good friends with Wenyani, and it is quite interesting to watch Wang Yani's live broadcast. Nizi sings really well. I'll give her some gifts. Ling Yufei took out her cell phone, ready to buy some gifts for Wang Yani. When Wang Yani was in college, she participated in the Jincheng College student singing competition and won the second place. Soon, Ling Yufei gave Wang Yani a rocket. Fei sent out a rocket. One rocket is 1,000 Do coins, which is worth 1,000 dragon coins. Wang Yani sings very well, but the gifts given by her fans are all small gifts, and there are very few who give rockets. When a rocket appears, it is very eye-catching. In the live broadcast room, Wang Yani's eyes widened. When she sees someone posting rockets, as a host, she can get 400 yuan according to the 40% share ratio. Just as I was about to express my gratitude, I saw the account that was sending rockets. Fake cat. Wang Yani recognized this account as the account of her college roommate and good friend Ling Yufei. It seems that Ling Yufei gave herself a gift. Yufei, come and watch my live broadcast. There's no need to give gifts to classmates. Wang Yani laughed. Nizi, thank me quickly, I want to hear you praise me again. Ling Yufei posted a barrage. Wang Yani didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This best friend gave her gifts just to hear her thank her and praise her? Thank you, Goddess Feimao. Goddess Feimao will always be young and beautiful. I am happy every day. Feimao, I'm at a loss for words. Wang Yani praised it for a while, using all the words she could to describe it. After being praised by Wang Yani, Ling Yufei was so happy that she sent another rocket. Very good. I am very satisfied. I will reward you with another rocket. 2 rockets cost 2,000 yuan, which was considered a big expense for Ling Yufei. Wang Yani was helpless. Ling Yufei was her good sister, so it was good enough that she came. There was really no need to give her gifts. He knew that Ling Yufei's family was rich, and 2,000 yuan was nothing. But, I still felt bad, but I couldn't stop Ling Yufei from giving gifts. Fortunately, Ling Yufei only sent 2 rockets and then stopped, so she breathed a sigh of relief. She wants to make money through live streaming, but she doesn't want her friends to give her gifts. When Ji Yulang saw Ling Yufei and Wang Yani interacting, he secretly sighed in his heart that the two were indeed good sisters. He had already logged into his account and saw millions of Douyin coins in his account. Ling Yufei gave Wang Yani 2 rockets, and then it was his turn. Wife, I'll buy some gifts for Nizi. The two of them are already married, so Ji Yulang still needs to report any gifts he gives to Wang Yani, otherwise it would cause misunderstandings. Tell Ling Yufei and give gifts to Wang Yani in front of Ling Yufei, and there will be no problem. Okay, Nizi has had a hard time, so go ahead and brush it. Ling Yufei naturally had no objection. She had a lot of pocket money and often gave gifts to Wang Yani. I know that Ji Yulang gave Wang Yani gifts in the past, but not much. Ling Yufei didn't mind this. Wang Yani is her best friend and also a witness to their love. Now that Ji Yulang has made so much money from stock trading, it's no big deal for him to give Wang Yani some gifts. Wife, I still have 1 million Douyin coins in my account, and I'm going to give them all to Yani. After getting Ling Yufei's approval, Ji Yulang showed the account to Ling Yufei. Ling Yufei was shocked when she saw that Ji Yulang had 1 million Douyin coins in his account. Why did you top up so many Douyin coins? You can't withdraw them even if you top up. Ling Yufei widened her eyes, thinking that this guy was really crazy. If you want to give yourself gifts, just give a small amount, and recharging 10,000 or 20,000 is already the limit. Unexpectedly, Ji Yulang actually recharged 1 million. That is 1 million Douyin coins and 1 million dragon coins. Chapter 24. Look how scary it is. I didn't intend to top up so much. My hands were shaking when I was topping up. Ji Yulang had already thought of an excuse. You said you had nothing to do, why are you so nervous? Are you going to spend all that money on gifts? Ling Yufei was really angry. For Dola live streaming, you cannot withdraw money after recharging, you can only spend it. Even though Ling Yufei is a beautiful, wealthy woman with billions of assets at home, she would not spend so much money on live streaming platforms. Ji Yulang didn't have much money before, so he would think carefully about how to spend even $100. Now I have made money and bought a car and a house. But no matter what, 1 million is not a small amount. It doesn't matter. We are not short of money now. I will show you the money I made from stock trading later. Let's give this 1 million to Nazi, what do you think? Ji Yulang didn't care at all. Alright. Ling Yufei knew that nothing she said would help, so she naturally had no objection to giving Wen Yani gifts. Giving her 1 million gifts will definitely scare Nazi. That depends on how scared she is. Ji Yulang smiled slightly. Let me do it. Ling Yufei was eager to try, so she put down her phone and took Ji Yulang's phone. She was looking forward to seeing Wen Yani receiving $1 million gift. A gift worth 1 million yuan would be a great surprise to even the big anchors, not to mention that Wen Yani is just a small anchor. Okay, I'll watch you brush. Ji Yulang hugged Ling Yufei and let her lean on his chest. Langa give away Super Rocket X10. Ling Yufei didn't hesitate and started giving out gifts immediately. Fuck. This is the first time I've seen someone post 10 super rockets at once in Goddess Nini's live stream. Goddess Nini, a rich man is coming. Brother Lang is mighty. When fans saw someone get 10 super rockets at once, they immediately became excited. In the eyes of these little fans, those who send super rockets are all rich people. You know, each super rocket costs 1,000 yuan, and 10 of them cost 10,000 yuan. Moreover, they had never seen anyone post so many super rockets at once in Wen Yani's live broadcast. Wen Yani was stunned, staring blankly at the 10 super rockets that suddenly appeared. Of course she knew the account of Brother Lang, that is, Ling Yufei's boyfriend Ji Yulang. Because Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei are together, she has a good relationship with Ji Yulang. Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei have been in a relationship for 4 years, and Ji Yulang gets along very well with the girls in their dormitory. In the past, Ji Yulang would occasionally give her gifts as a way of showing his support for her. But why is Ji Yulang giving himself gifts now? If nothing unexpected happens, Ji Yulang must be with Ling Yufei now. Just now, Ling Yufei gave herself 2 super rockets. Now Ji Yulang brushed again, and brushed 10 more. What is going on between these two people? Why are they queuing up to give themselves gifts today? Ji Yulang, what's going on between you and Fei Fei? Why are you giving me so many gifts? Wen Yani called out to the two of them. Ling Yufei's family is rich, so it's no big deal for her to get 1 or 2 super rockets. However, blasting 10 super rockets at once is too many. Besides, it would be fine if Ling Yufei was just brushing, but why did Ji Yulang come to join in the fun? She knew that Ji Yulang's salary was only about 10,000 yuan, and he lived with Ling Yufei, so he couldn't save any money. Now, Ji Yulang earned a month's salary in one go. Langa give away Super Rocket X10. Langa give away Super Rocket X20. Langa give away Super Rocket X30. Langa give away Super Rocket X40. Langa give away Super Rocket X50. Ling Yufei giggled, didn't respond, and just swiped 5 times in a row. Anyway, Ji Yulang has 1 million in his account. 1 super rocket costs 1,000, 10 of them cost 10,000, 100 of them cost 100,000, and it will take 1,000 to make 1 million. She didn't finish brushing them all at once, as she felt it was more interesting to brush them several times, dozens of times. This time, Wen Yani was even more dumbfounded. Before she could say anything else, Ji Yulang's account started to swipe 5 times in a row. Langa give away Super Rocket X10. Langa give away Super Rocket X20. Langa give away Super Rocket X30. Langa give away Super Rocket X40. Langa give away Super Rocket X50. Fuck, I can be sure that Brother Lang is not a local tycoon, but a super tycoon. Brother Lang is awesome, Brother Lang is mighty. Brother Lang, can you tell me what is the limit of your rocket brushing today? No need to reveal anything. If you reveal anything, there will be no surprises. Brother Lang, I just like watching the special effects of super rockets, swish, swish, swish. Brother Lang, are you still missing a thigh pendant? Look at you, Brother Lang. You're so generous that you've even scared our goddess Nini. The fans were even more excited. Someone sent so many super rockets at once. This situation has never happened in Wen Yani's live broadcast room. Even if someone brushes super rockets, they basically brush them one by one, just like Ling Yufei. It's not like it's now, with dozens and dozens of them being blasted, as if super rockets are free. Even in the live broadcast rooms of big anchors, this kind of scene is not often seen. In just a short while, 2 5-shot combos had already earned 300,000. Wen Yani was really scared and quickly took out her cell phone to call Ji Yulang. It's so fun to see Niz's stunned expression. Ling Yufei looked at Wang Yanani, who was dumbfounded in the live broadcast room, and couldn't help but giggle. Ji Yulang smiled slightly and said nothing. Before binding to the system, 1 million was a huge sum of money for him. It's different now. Not to mention other rewards, if you communicate with 3 babies for 15 minutes every day, you can earn 1 million in a week. Wang Yani comes from an average family, so it's normal for her to be shocked when she saw that 300,000 yuan was spent. When he saw Wang Yani take out her cell phone to make a call, he knew that Wang Yani must be calling him. Sure enough, the next second, Ji Yulang's cell phone rang. It was Wang Yanani calling. "Hubby, let's not answer the call and let Nizi worry for a while." Ling Yufei refused to answer the call as a prank. Then, the two saw that Wang Yani was dumbfounded. Then, another call was made. This time Nizi must have called me. Ling Yufei could guess what Wang Yani was going to do. Sure enough, the cell phone she had put aside rang. "I have to answer it this time, otherwise Nizi won't be able to live stream properly." Ling Yufei handed the phone to Ji Yulang. "You answer it, I'll continue to give her gifts." "Okay." Ji Yulang nodded and answered the phone. "Fei Fei, what's going on between you and Ji Yulang? Why did you give me so many gifts? Why are you still brushing? Stop it right now." As soon as the call was connected, before Ji Yulang could say anything, Wang Yani's anxious voice came over. "Nizi, it's me. Don't worry about us giving gifts. Just live stream as normal. My husband and I just watched your live broadcast and thought you sang well. When we were in the mood, we gave you some small gifts." It was impossible for Ji Yulang to say that if one spent 1 million, one could get a cashback of 100 million. It was all nonsense. Chapter 25, Stop Giving Gifts. You are really crazy. I'm still brushing it now. I've brushed it too much." Wang Yani was a little furious. Suddenly, she thought of something. Could it be that Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei knew about her family affairs? Her mother was seriously ill and was hospitalized, which required a lot of money. The family emptied out all their savings and borrowed a lot of money from relatives and friends, but still couldn't get the money together, with a shortfall of more than 200,000 yuan. During this period, Wang Yani worked even harder on live broadcasts after get off work. "I just want to make more money through live streaming to pay for my mother's medical treatment." She didn't tell Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei about this, nor did she tell other classmates and sisters. Today, Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei gave out gifts in such a way that they spent 300,000 in one go. This made her suspect that Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei knew about her mother's illness and were helping her by giving her gifts. Thinking of this, Wang Yani's eyes instantly turned red. Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei were her best friends, and they helped her like this. She was deeply touched. In order to treat their mother's illness, their family borrowed money from relatives and friends. Her family background is average and her relatives and friends are not rich. "I borrowed all I could, but it still wasn't enough to pay for my mother's treatment." Ling Yufei comes from a wealthy family and is a typical white, rich and beautiful girl. Hundreds of thousands are nothing to Ling Yufei. She once thought about borrowing money from Ling Yufei. It's just that Ling Yufei, like her, had just graduated from college, and Ling Yufei was also preparing for the postgraduate entrance examination. Ling Yufei definitely has no money herself. If she asked Ling Yufei to borrow money, Ling Yufei would definitely ask her family for it. She felt that this was not a good idea, so she did not tell Ling Yufei. It now seems that Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei found out from somewhere that their mother was seriously ill and needed money for treatment. In the live broadcast room, Wang Yani's eyes were red and she choked with sobs. "Wow, Ji Yulang, do you and Fei Fei know everything?" Wang Yani realized that she was still broadcasting live and was saying bad things at home in the live broadcast room, so she turned off the sound and cried. "Knew? Know what?" This time, Ji Yulang was a little confused. "Nizi, don't cry. What did you say? What do we know? I don't understand." Ji Yulang comforted her and then asked doubtfully. Could it be that something happened to Wang Yani? Recently, due to Ling Yufei's pregnancy, neither of them had contacted Wang Yani and had no idea about Wang Yani's situation. "It's about my mother being sick and in the hospital." Wang Yani didn't know whether what Ji Yulang said was true or not, so she took the initiative to tell it. Wang Yani's mother is sick and hospitalized. Ji Yulang was stunned. She gave gifts to Wang Yani just to use up the 1 million Douyin coins given by the system so as to get a cashback of 100 million. She had no idea that Wang Yani's mother was sick and hospitalized.
Nizzy, your mother is sick and in the hospital. When?
Ji Yulang asked with concern. He really didn't know, otherwise he would definitely go to the hospital to visit with Ling Yufei. And if Wang Yani has any difficulties, they will also help her.
10 days ago.
Hearing Ji Yulang ask this, Wang Yani was sure that Ji Yulang didn't know that his mother was sick and hospitalized. However, now that the words have been spoken, I can only tell you the specific circumstances. Wife, did you know that Naz's mother is sick and in the hospital?
Ji Yulang looked at Ling Yufei and asked.
I don't know. She didn't tell me. Ling Yufei's face changed. She didn't care about giving gifts anymore. She returned Ji Yulang's phone to him and took her own phone. I'll ask Nazi what's going on. She and Wang Yani are good friends, as close as sisters. She has been to Wang Yani's home several times and met Wang Yani's family. Like her, Wang Yani is a native of Jincheng, but her family lives in the suburbs and her family is average. Her father works in a factory, her mother runs a breakfast shop, and she has a younger brother who is in college.
Nizzy, what happened to Auntie? When was she hospitalized?
Such a big thing, why didn't you tell me? Do you still treat me as a sister? Ling Yufei was a little angry and blamed Wang Yani for not telling her. Because of her wealthy family, Ling Yufei has never lacked money since she was a child. People are generous and helpful. When classmates asked her to borrow money, she would ask about the situation and lend the money as long as the need was genuine. For a few close sisters, I often take them out to play. When Ling Yufei learned that Wang Yani's mother was ill, she wanted to take the initiative to help. She might not be able to help with anything else. She has no problem with money. Whether Wang Yani wants tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, it's no problem. She is the only precious daughter in her family. If she asks her parents for hundreds of thousands of dollars to help her classmate's mother with her medical treatment, her parents will definitely give it to her. She was angry because Wang Yani did not take the initiative to tell her about this. If it weren't for the gifts, I wouldn't have known that Wang Yani's mother was sick and hospitalized. Fei, I didn't want to cause you trouble, so I didn't tell you.
Not only you, I didn't tell anyone.
Ling Yufei said helplessly.
Don't do this again.
Ling Yufei snorted, and then asked, tell me, how is Auntie's condition? It is useless to blame Wang Yani now. The main thing is to find out the situation of Wang Yani's mother.
Wang Yani explained the situation.
10 days ago, her mother suddenly fainted while cooking at home. Her father rushed her to the hospital for emergency treatment, and the final examination results showed a heart attack. Fortunately, he was sent to the hospital in time, otherwise he would have died. Now he has undergone surgery and his condition is stable. But the follow-up treatment will cost a lot of money.
Nizzy, don't worry about anything.
As long as you need it, we will help you.
Ji Yulang and I will find some time to visit Auntie.
Which hospital is she staying in? 3 said a word of comfort and then asked. The First People's Hospital. Since she had already said it, Wang Yani did not hide it anymore. My mother will be hospitalized for a long time. I will take you there on the weekend when I have some rest.
Okay. Ling Yufei nodded. Nizzy, if something like this happens next time, you must tell me.
If there is a next time, don't blame me for not treating you as a sister, okay?
I understand.
Wang Yani agreed, and a warm feeling passed through her heart. Just then, she discovered that Ji Yulang had given her gifts again. A rough calculation shows that about 600,000 or 700,000 yuan has been spent. Fei, stop giving me gifts.
Wang Yani said hurriedly.
It was Ji Yulang who brushed it, and I couldn't stop him.
Ling Yufei said. Give him the phone and I'll talk to him.
Wang Yani needed money, but she didn't want to see Ji Yulang giving gifts like this. Giving away gifts like this is simply a waste of money. Even if you want to help him, there is no need to do this. You have to know that the platform takes 60% of the gifts given out, and she only gets 40%.
Ling Yufei and Ji Yulang exchanged their phones. Ji Yulang, please stop giving me gifts.
Ji Yulang put the phone to his ear and heard Wang Yani's anxious voice.
Nizzy, it's not me who wants to brush it, it's Yufei who wants to brush it.
You should talk to her.
Ji Yulang said in a helpless tone.
Looking at the screen, it was still full of super rockets.
Wang Yunyi finally understood that the couple had discussed this beforehand. Whenever Ling Yufei answered the phone, Ji Yulang would send gifts. Whenever Ji Yulang answered the phone, Ling Yufei would send gifts. Just now, Ji Yulang and Ling Yufei were giving gifts to each other and didn't know that her mother was sick, so she might be able to stop them. Now that the two of them know about this, they definitely can't stop it. Chapter 26, Going to Talk Business. After breakfast, Ji Yulang drove his Porsche Panamera to work. After arranging their work, Ji Yulang came to Zhang Mingqiu's office. Mr. Zhang, I need to take a leave this afternoon. Ji Yulang went straight to the point and put the leave application in front of Zhang Mingqiu. Another leave? Zhang Mingqiu was stunned for a moment. Instead of looking at the leave application, he looked at Ji Yulang with a strange expression. You took a day off yesterday and a half day off today. Do you still look like you're going to work? There was no accusation in her tone. If it were in the past, she would definitely have scolded Ji Yulang. After all, Ji Yulang had asked for leave too frequently during this period. In just a few days, Ji Yulang has already asked for leave 3 times. This will definitely affect work. However, ever since she saw Ji Yulang with his girlfriend at the car dealership last time, and how he generously bought a Porsche Panamera, and he was also a super VIP customer of the car dealership, her perception of Ji Yulang has changed. In the past, she only regarded Ji Yulang as a capable subordinate. Now, she not only regards Ji Yulang as a capable subordinate, but also as a rich second-generation friend with a wealthy family. Who knows, Ji Yulang might be able to help me someday, so I must maintain a good relationship with Ji Yulang. I can't help it. I'm getting ready to get married. I've been so busy lately. My dad is coming over this afternoon to discuss the engagement and marriage with my mom and my girlfriend's parents. I have to go pick them up. Ji Yulang explained. Although it was written on the leave application, since Zhang Mingqiu said so, he still had to tell Zhang Mingqiu verbally. Okay, I'll approve your leave. Zhang Mingqiu picked up the pen, signed the leave application, and returned the application to Ji Yulang, asking Ji Yulang to hand it over to the Human Resources Department. Thank you, Mr. Zhang. Ji Yulang smiled and put away the leave application. Come with me to discuss business later. Zhang Mingqiu planned to take Ji Yulang with her, which was considered a gesture of goodwill to Ji Yulang. No matter how long Ji Yulang can work here, we must try our best to be friends with Ji Yulang. I think, considering Ji Yulang's family background, he came here just for training. I still have something to teach Ji Yulang. Talk about business. No problem. As long as Mr. Zhang doesn't mind me, I'll be there whenever you call. Ji Yulang's eyes lit up. He naturally knew what this meant. There are so many people who want to discuss business with Zhang Mingqiu but don't have the chance. If I follow Zhang Mingqiu to discuss business, I will definitely learn a lot. This will be of great benefit to my future career development. Although, now that I have my own system, I don't have to worry about money anymore. However, I still lack some abilities and the ability to deal with people. In this regard, we must learn through practice. Talking about business is a good way. Okay, you go back first. Zhang Mingqiu looked at his watch. I need some time to finish my work. Let's meet in the parking lot downstairs at 9:30. Okay, then I'll go back first. Ji Yulang left Zhang Mingqiu's office and handed the leave application to the Human Resources Department. I returned to the office and checked my work again. Seeing that the time was up, I left the office and went to the parking lot downstairs. Not long after I walked out, Zhang Mingqiu came out. Take my car today. Get in. Zhang Mingqiu pressed the car key, and the lights of a silver-white Maserati President next to her lit up. Ji Yulang naturally knew that this was Zhang Mingqiu's car. Zhang Mingqiu opened the car door first and got into the driver's seat. Okay. Ji Yulang got on the passenger seat. President Maserati is a perfect match for your status, Mr. Zhang. Ji Yulang praised. It's okay, but not as good as your car. Zhang Mingqiu glanced at Ji Yulang with a smile. Mr. Zhang, you can't say that. Every car has its own merits. It all depends on your own preference. Ji Yulang didn't feel anything special. A week ago, he was still a poor boy. Not to mention luxury cars like Porsche or Maserati, he couldn't even afford a car worth tens of thousands of dollars. If it weren't for the system that fell from the sky, he would still be squeezing into the bus miserably. That's true. Zhang Minqiu nodded. Mr. Zhang, which company are we going to discuss business with this time? Ji Lang asked. I was just about to tell you that the target this time is Hongxin Group. Hongxin Group is a large group with a market value of over 10 billion yuan. It is very strong and specializes in jewelry trading and processing, and it does a good job in foreign trade. This time they placed an order of 600 million, which attracted competition from major jewelry companies. I heard that when Hongxin, the chairman of Hongxin Group, attached great importance to this business and personally met with the marketing directors of our jewelry companies. Our company is of medium strength, and it is unlikely that we can take all 600 million. What I want is to get at least 50 million. Anyway, we must have a share of the pie. It's not just about performance. Cooperating with Hongxin Group will also help enhance the reputation of our company. Zhang Minqiu introduced the situation. So that's how it is. Ji Lang nodded. He had heard of Hongxin Group, but had never dealt with it. I brought you there this time because I wanted you to get familiar with this kind of scene, which will be beneficial to your future development. I'll do the main work, and you just need to follow me. The main thing is to learn, and there's no need to say anything. Zhang Minqiu reminded. Okay, I know what to do. Ji Lang nodded in response. It couldn't be simpler to just do whatever your leader says. Anyway, it's all about learning and preparing to be independent in the future. The two chatted while their Maserati stopped in the parking lot in front of Hongxin Hotel. Hongxin Hotel is a hotel under the Hongxin Group. The two got out of the car and walked towards their hotel. At this time, a Mercedes-Benz 350 stopped in the parking space next to it, and a middle-aged man in a suit and tie walked out of it. Mr. Zhang, good morning. The middle-aged man with a greasy face greeted Zhang Minqiu with a smile that he thought was handsome. His name is Ding Yang, and he is the general manager of the marketing department of Wufu Jewelry Company. Her position is the same as Zhang Minqiu's position at Jingcai Jewelry. Wufu Jewelry Company is about the same size as Jingcai Jewelry Company. The two knew each other, but they were not close friends. The main thing is that Ding Yang always has a lecherous expression, which makes Zhang Minqiu feel disgusted. As Ding Yang spoke, his eyes were lustful and he swept them over Zhang Minqiu's delicate body unscrupulously. Good morning. Zhang Minqiu responded coldly with a hint of disgust in his eyes. Mr. Zhang, you guys at Jingcai Jewelry have no chance today. I think you should go back. Ding Yang's face was full of ridicule. How do you know we have no chance? Zhang Minqiu said angrily. You Jingcai Jewelry have no strength. Unless you are willing to sacrifice yourself, Chairman Wen will definitely not give you the business. Dong Bijuan stared at Zhang Minqiu's chest with lustful eyes, without any hesitation. Ding Yang, you are shameless. Zhang Minqiu cursed. How am I shameless? I'm just telling the truth. Ding Yang looked like he deserved a beating. We at Jingcai Jewelry don't have the strength, but do you at Wufu Jewelry have the strength? I remember that in the jewelry company rankings released by Fortune magazine last month, your company was ranked behind ours. Zhang Minqiu sneered sarcastically. Chapter 27. Are you sick? You? Ding Yang's face flushed red and he was shaking with anger, but he couldn't refute. Wufu Jewelry Company is indeed ranked behind Jingcai Company, and on this point, it can never win over Zhang Minqiu. HMPH, you are so eloquent. I wonder if you can still be so eloquent when you meet Chairman Wen later. Ding Yang snorted coldly and turned to walk towards their hotel. Mr. Zhang, who is this? He is so uncultured. In Ji Lang's opinion, Ding Yang is indeed a person without character. What I just said to Zhang Minqiu was simply an insult to her. Anyone with a little bit of integrity in the workplace would not say such things. What's more, the other party seems to be a person of considerable status. Zhang Minqiu briefly described Ding Yang's situation. I see. I don't know what he's so crazy about. Ji Lang was speechless. It is really hard to understand why Ding Yang is so crazy. He is just like that, just ignore him. Zhang Minqiu said. The two entered the hotel and were taken to the reception room by the staff. There were already quite a few people waiting in the reception room. They are all from the jewelry industry and are heads of marketing departments. Zhang Minqiu introduced them to Ji Lang one by one so that he could recognize these seniors clearly. It is said that colleagues are enemies, but sometimes they are also partners. There's no harm in getting to know these people better.
Except for Ding Yang, the heads of other jewelry companies were very kind to Zhang Mingqiu. He was also polite to Jiyu Lang, whom he introduced. In the workplace, people like Ding Yang are, after all, a minority. We all work to make a living, so more friends mean more paths. Sometimes, an unexpected friend can be of great help. This kind of situation has happened before. Once, there was a junior manager in the business department of a jewelry company. At a party, he met a young man who was looked down upon by many people, and he became famous. This young man was not dressed very well and was considered by everyone to be a country bumpkin who was only there to eat. The young supervisor did not look down on the young man, and even had a pleasant conversation with him. Later, the organizer of the party appeared and introduced the young man. People then realized that the young man was a distinguished guest invited by the organizer and that the party was held specifically for this young man. After the organizer's introduction, people realized that the young man was the son of a big family, but he was a very low-key person. Now, those who looked down on this young man were dumbfounded. The junior executive who got along so well with the young man rose to the position of president of a large jewelry group in just a few years. This incident is widely circulated in the jewelry industry. Since then, it has become rare to see people who look down on others in the jewelry industry. Because you never know when you will meet a low-key rich young man. Don't say what benefits you will get. If you make someone angry, they will beat you to the ground in a minute and you won't even have a place to cry. Soon, it was 10:30. When Hongxing's assistant Xiao Li came in and, according to the list, asked the heads of major jewelry companies to go to Wen Hongxing's office to discuss cooperation with Wen Hongxing. The first person to be called was the person in charge of Wanfu Jewelry. Jiyu Lang and Zhang Mingqiu were waiting, and Jiyu Lang asked Zhang Mingqiu some questions from time to time. As they went and came back one after another, everyone's faces looked unhappy. After asking, I found out that Wen Hongxing had not confirmed the cooperation, but just said to go back and wait for notification. This is a bit uncertain. Originally, they wanted Wen Hongxing's accurate answer. Such an ambiguous answer left them unsure. Soon, it was Jiyu Lang and Zhang Mingqiu's turn. The two followed Wen Hongxing's assistant Xiao Li to Wen Hongxing's office. In the aisle, both of them followed Wen Hongxing's assistant in silence. Suddenly, a system prompt sounded in Jiyu Lang's mind. Ding! Their host contacts a new company for the first time, and is rewarded with a full set of Chinese medicine knowledge. Hearing this voice, Jiyu Lang was stunned. What's going on? This was my first time dealing with a new company, which was also in the jewelry business, and had nothing to do with Chinese medicine. So why was it rewarded with a full set of Chinese medicine knowledge? Isn't it okay to reward business communication skills or techniques? Jiyu Lang was really confused. Just when he was about to ask the system what was going on and whether the reward was sent out incorrectly, when Hongxing arrived at his office. Please come in, our chairman is waiting inside. Assistant Xiao Li pushed open the office door and motioned for the two to go in. Okay, thanks. Zhang Mingqiu nodded to express her gratitude and walked in with Jiyu Lang. Jiyu Lang could only calm down and stop asking questions to the system until he finished this business. When I entered the office, I saw a middle-aged man in his 40s or 50s sitting at the back of the office. The middle-aged man is Wen Hongxing, chairman of Hongxing Group. It is said that Wen Hongxing started from scratch and founded the Hongxing Group with a market value of over 10 billion yuan. He is a legend in Jincheng's business community. Many young people regard Wen Hongxing as their idol. Hello, Chairman Wen. I am Zhang Mingqiu, the general manager of the marketing department of Jingsai Jewelry Company. This is Jiyu Lang, the director of our company. Zhang Mingqiu introduces herself. Sit down. Wen Hongxing motioned for the two to sit down. I'll give you 5 minutes. If you can't convince me within 5 minutes, I can only say sorry. Wen Hongxing's words gave people a strong sense of oppression. Hearing this, Zhang Mingqiu suddenly felt under great pressure. Now she finally understood why those people looked so unhappy just now. It is indeed difficult to convince Wen Hongxing in 5 minutes. Chairman Wen, our Jingsai Jewelry Company has a complete. Zhang Mingqiu took a deep breath and began to introduce the company's advantages according to the prepared materials. Jiyu Lang was standing aside, looking at Wen Hongxing. Suddenly, I saw something. Just now, the system rewarded him with a complete set of traditional Chinese medicine knowledge. When he saw Wen Hongxing, he found that Wen Hongxing seemed to be sick. Based on his knowledge of traditional Chinese medicine, he judged that Wen Hongxing suffered from kidney deficiency. Now, Ji Yulang seemed to understand why the system rewarded him with a complete set of traditional Chinese medicine knowledge. This should be to let him use this as a starting point to win the business. Thinking of this, Ji Yulang felt a little excited. It would be great if we could get the business this way. You know, this is a 600 million business. Not only can you achieve performance targets, but you can also get high commissions. Although, he has a system, and he just made 100 million last night, so he is not short of money. But who would complain about having too much money? Of course, if Zhang Minqiu could get it, he wouldn't say anything, nor would he interrupt and try to steal Zhang Minqiu's business. However, Zhang Minqiu was unable to do this. Okay, I understand. You guys go back and wait for news. After listening to Zhang Minqiu's introduction, Wen Hongxing looked indifferent and directly asked Zhang Minqiu and Ji Yulang to leave. There was some impatience in his tone. Zhang Minqiu's face turned pale, knowing that there was no hope for this business. Why? Since Wen Hongxing told them to leave, they naturally couldn't stay any longer. Zhang Minqiu signaled to Ji Yulang and stood up to leave. Ji Yulang did not stand up, but looked at Wen Hongxing and said something. Chairman Wen, are you sick?